Hello! Welcome everybody to Rewriting the Marvel Universe again. I called this something different on my YouTube. I don't even remember what I called it. I know it has a different name on the YouTube, but who cares about consistency in series names? That's not something people need to be successful on content, right? Anyway, welcome to the stream. Oh, to answer something right away, because I know people are going to be asking. Nikhil might be here today. He has work today. He might be showing up later. I need to text him and figure that out. But starting next week, Nikhil is just going to be part of this series. If you guys know Nikhil Clayton, I assume most of you know who Nikhil Clayton is. He really likes this concept idea, and he wanted to hop in on it. So he's going to just start being here regularly next week, and he might show up today. But that's where Nikhil is now. YouTube is making new Marvel. Oh, yeah. I think that's a fine name for it. I don't know. I'm not good at naming things. The time bubble should not have been first. Don't worry, there's a reason why the time bubble is first, and I'll explain why. And also, I'll explain why it doesn't really matter that much. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. If you don't know what time bubble I'm talking about, don't worry. Things will make sense in a second. I'm just getting a few things set up, then we're going to do a recap, talk about what today's going to be about. As you can probably assume from the name of this episode, we're going to be talking about this world's Avengers. Because I have a very cool name. Or not a name, but a concept for the Avengers. By the way, Amy was on top of this and already shouted this out. Nikhil is starting to stream as well. I think he said he's going to start doing like more scheduled stuff next week, because his time on, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say what show he's working on. I probably can, but I'm not going to just in case. His time at Marvel Studios is ending because of the writer's strike and things. There's not more stuff happening, so he's going to be streaming more professionally starting next week. You should all go follow him. Go follow him. Okay, let me get this Twitch or TikTok live set up here. Awkwardly lifting my tripod here. You guys want to see something funny before I start setting this up? I've joked before about my tripod being held together by tape and paper towels. It's not really a joke. As you can see, it is held together by tape and paper towels. What I've added a new element to it though. One problem with this is that it started sagging because amazingly tape and paper towels are not great at holding it up. And so that was like, if you watch my videos over the last couple months, like the angle slowly drifts down. Like I get higher and higher up in the frame because my tripod was just slowly breaking. And if you watch my recent videos, the angle's gotten a lot better. And it's because I literally just took a hair tie and slapped it on there so that it holds it in a more vertical position. So now my tripod is held together with duct tape, paper towels, and a hair tie. And if you ever question my professionalism as a content creator, you're right to do so. Anyway, speaking of that, I am going to still use this thing. I don't want to buy a new tripod when this works fine. So let me get that set up. Chemical X, yeah, basically. You're such an idiot, I'll literally buy you a tripod. Well, the thing is, it's a professional camera tripod. Like, it's not meant for phones. It's meant for, like Canon cameras. And what it is it's a car phone mount. It's supposed to, like, wrap around, like, your car, like, drop-down mirror or something. And you put your phone in there. But I have a different phone mount that I use. And so I just wrapped it around the tripod stick and then just taped it there. And that's how my tripod works. It's not really a phone tripod. It is a camera tripod that I taped a phone mount to. And if that doesn't sum up me as a content creator very well, I don't know what does, man. I don't know what does. Is Nikhil late to joining the strike, or is he being laid off because of the strike? Nikhil is not part of the unions. Nikhil is a production assistant on a Marvel thing. And because of the strike, which for the record I very much support, production on Marvel things is halted, so they don't need production assistants. That's why he doesn't have work because of the strike, is because you can't be a production assistant when there's no production. Just tape the phone to a branch. But yeah, I mean, basically. No, guys, Nikhil's not fired for striking. You can't be a production assistant when there's no production. That is the easiest way I can explain it. Is he no, it's ending. The thing he was working on is ending. There's no more production. It's as simple as that. Everyone calm down. Nikhil is not fired. Nikhil is not fired. He just doesn't, he's not working, but he did not do anything wrong and get fired. Anyway, sorry, let me screenshot that. Who's texting me? My father. What is he? spawn him later. Okay. Nikhil's on fire? Yeah, I flew to California and I set Nikhil Clayton on fire. Just for fun. Video reported. What? Oh. Did you guys know that you can just report any video on TikTok for being branded content? This is a funny little TikTok tangent that I'll tell as I set stuff up. So legally, you have to disclose whether a video is sponsored or not, right? And that's a good thing. That's how it should be. It keeps, marketing honest and stuff. TikTok, you can report literally any video you want for being undisclosed branded content. And sometimes people do it just to be like rude. Like my Echo video on my second channel got reported for being undisclosed branded content. And you want to know what the method that you do to fix that on TikTok is? You get a notification that someone reported it. And you get a little question that says, is this branded content? And you click no. And that's it. It's so funny. People are like, haha, I'm gonna mess with his income by reporting his video. And then you go and you click no and you're done. It's so funny. Okay, rewriting the Marvel Universe. I don't think I have enough room to put Avengers in here in this TikTok live title. But who cares? I think that's a catchy enough title anyway. I redeemed Hydra, by the way. I'm setting stuff up. Hold on. Okay. Well, fantastic. Yeah, TikTok's a stupid app, man. It's paying my rent, but it's stupid. Okay. 3, 2, 1, live, go. That phone, that's probably going to fall out of the mount. I did not put it in there well enough, but who cares? So, that is good. Good. Seems good. Sweet. Let's talk about what we're doing tonight. So, starting last Monday, I began a very impromptu but very large project of just sort of making my own version of the Marvel Universe, because why not? I don't have a reason for doing this other than I'm just like, it might be fun, people might want to watch it. And we started just kind of working on this. So, last week's episode, I'm going to do a kind of quick recap of it. If you want to watch the full thing, it's on my VOD's YouTube, which I will link. Also, so Texas is ridiculously hot right now. I know, I live in Texas, dude. It sucks here. I live in the Dallas area. It's awful. I hate Texas. Anyway. Oh, Amy already got it. Thank you, Amy. So, last episode was kind of divided up into two things because we're rewriting the Marvel Universe from scratch, right? We're doing a whole new, like, same characters, same sort of general concepts, but different worlds. So we started off with a horribly confusing concept that has to do with time travel and celestials and all sorts of weirdness. The reason that we started with this is that this is the baseline, right? This is like where the superpowers in the Marvel Universe come from, and I wanted to kind of establish this, even though it's a mess to get through. I wanted to start with that because that is the baseline from which other things begin. But here's the thing. This stuff, I'm not even going to bother recapping this right now. I'm not going to bother recapping it because it doesn't matter. This is the start of the universe as a whole. This section down here, this is where the story starts, right? This is what we're going to recap, and if you don't really understand what I mean by that, how do I phrase it, right? So, let's take the MCU. Stuff in the MCU kicked off with, like, the Celestials making stars that created, people, blah, 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 the planets, I don't want to go over it, but you get what I mean. But the movie started with Iron Man. This is the Celestials making the world and some crazy stuff. This is where our universe's stories actually start. This is where we start following characters. So we're going to start talking about this kind of thing. Thank you for the gifted sub, by the way. I forget if that's the spacing of but Ill Respect, thank you for the sub. You falsely described this as a reboot. It's just a basic AU. I mean, I don't care. I think I described it as a rewrite. Reboot, AU, I don't care. The difference between those is not as significant as you think. Anyway, so here's where our little universe starts here. It starts with Moon Girl. Wild start to Moon Girl, but the Savage Land is a big part of where superpowers come from in this universe. The Savage Land, which is like a place at the bottom of the world where there are dinosaurs. Don't worry about how it got there. We don't have to worry about that yet. People will figure that out later. So, essentially, Devil Dinosaur and a bunch of other deviants, yes, there are deviants like the things from the Eternals in the Savage Land. They escape from the Savage Land and go and spread out into the world. That is like the catalyst for weird superhero things happening, is a bunch of monsters and dinosaurs and weird things escape from the Savage Land. Devil Dinosaur goes and finds Moon Girl because they have a psychic connection. Moon Girl is the first superhero of this universe. In the same vein, a bunch of deviants are discovered by Mole Man. Mole Man is still the first villain of this universe. You know, like the Fantastic Four, Mole Man was their first bad guy, and they're one of the key start points of the Marvel Universe. Mole Man is still the first villain. So our first big fight is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur fighting Mole Man and his kaiju army. So we're starting off with a bang, right? We're starting off with there are huge kaiju dinosaur monsters fighting in New York City. That is, you know, the jump that sets us into the Marvel. That is like the Avengers invasion of New York in the MCU. That is the thing that kicks off the Age of Heroes in my new version of the Marvel Universe. Then, after this is where the important stuff comes in. As a sort of natural response to this weird kaiju monster attack, the military starts looking for ways to possibly deal with other future monster attacks. And they look for somebody to make them some new military tech. Now, you would maybe expect this to be something along the lines of like Tony Stark, right? Tony Stark gets the military contract and then becomes the guy. In this universe, it's Osborn. Norman Osborn becomes the guy who kind of makes stuff for the military and is, you know, their big response to supervillain threats. Essentially becoming Iron Patriot, right? We're jumping ahead to Dark Avengers, basically, the arc where Norman Osborn, you know, makes his own Avengers team. Norman Osborn ends up with this sort of Tony Stark-like origin, becomes Iron Patriot, does experiments on people, makes some weird tech, and creates his own superhero team, the first superhero team in this universe, which is called the Spectacular Six. It is a hybrid of the Avengers and the Sinister Six, basically. It is sort of half and half members of each. Spectacular Six, kind of as a riff on Spectacular Spider-Man. And then they're the hero team. The members of this team, we have not fleshed them out in great detail yet, but we do have them all listed. Obviously, Norman Osborn, Iron Patriot, is the leader. One that I thought would be cool is Bruce Banner is a scientist who works for Oscorp. And he becomes Gamma Goblin. So it's like Hulk, but with Goblin Serum as well. It would probably be something along the lines of like Ultimate's Hulk. Not Ultimate's Hulk, Ultimate's Goblin. So he's one of the original Avengers on the roster. The other original Avenger on the roster is Hank Pym as Ant-Man. He can just kind of stay Ant-Man, right? He's a scientist. He works for Oscorp. He discovers Pym particles. He becomes Ant-Man. Don't have to change too much of his core origin. Wonder Man is an original member of the Spectacular Six, but it's not the Wonder Man you guys might be familiar with. This Wonder Man is an android created by Hank Pym and Norman Osborn, kind of as a combination of Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, and Ultron. By the way, for anyone who just came in, what we're doing right now is a recap of last week. So if you want more detailed stuff, go watch the episode on my YouTube. This is a recap, and then we're going to get into new things. And then those are the only like original hero-based characters on this team. The other two are the Shocker, who is a more literal electric-based Shocker. He's like sort of a Shocker-Electro hybrid who joins this team. And then the final one, who is my favorite member of this team, Mysterio. Quentin Beck, he is the team's guy in the chair. The Mysterio identity is sort of like a PR stunt. He has drones, but he himself is never on the battlefield. He has illusions and tech, and he just sits back in their headquarters and manages Mysterio as one of their most powerful members. For PR. Here's a trick that we're going to set up for later. For those who don't know, Loki is the reason that the Avengers formed in the comics. Loki did plots and formed the Avengers. I guess that is kind of the same way that it happens in the MCU. In this universe, Mysterio is actually Loki. Why? Don't know yet. Haven't decided that, but I thought that was a super fun little twist of Loki being involved in the formation of the first superhero team. That is a core thing that happens in a lot of Marvel universes, and I thought that was fun. So Mysterio is using illusion tech to support this team. He's actually just Loki working for his own ends, and his illusion tech is real illusion magic. I love that. I think that's super funny. It's a good little plot here. So, now, this is where we actually get to the Avengers team, right? That's what we're going to be talking about today, is the Avengers of this world. The Spectacular Six are not the Avengers. They are their own team. So, Oscorp, in this universe, has deviants there. The deviants that escape from the Savage Land, it has some of them there, and that's where a lot of people are getting their powers from experiments on them. One of the scientists who experiments on them is a guy named Miles Warren. If you don't know who Miles Warren is, he's a villain called the Jackal. He is responsible for cloning people. That's his whole thing. He made Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider. He's crazy and he clones people. That's his whole bit, right? In this universe, Miles Warren experiments on some people, does some genetic splicing with deviants, goes too far, does, big human rights violations, gets fired. But he takes some of his tech and his work with him and starts doing super villain stuff outside of Oscorp, right? He continues his experiments like underground, mutating people and turning them into monsters. Norman Osborn does not want to deal with this, right? He does not want to send the Spectacular Six to go and stop Miles Warren from turning people into monsters, because if he catches Miles Warren, there's a decent chance that it gets revealed Oscorp has these secret deviants. He doesn't want to stop Jackal because Jackal will trace back to him and make him guilty. And so the team kind of lets this go on in the shadows, right? This is the reason we have vigilantes in New York. The vigilantes are the people who are going out and, dealing with these monsters that the Spectacular Six refuses to deal with. This is what Moon Girl is doing. Another important vigilante is Janet Van Dyne, Wasp. Janet finds out that her husband, Hank Pym, is kind of complicit in this scheme to let the monsters run wild, wants to do something about it, steals some of his tech, becomes Wasp, so she is not part of the Spectacular Six. She is a vigilante in this world. And then her and Moon Girl and some other characters that we're going to start work on today later form the Avengers to avenge the people that the Spectacular Six ignored, and that is where the Avengers team comes from. Does everyone follow that? This is my first time recapping it, so if anyone has any questions in the chat, please tell me now. I'll try to answer them. But this is the point that we're going to be going with, is the formation of the Avengers in response to the Spectacular Six ignoring the monster attacks. Everyone get that, where we're going? Please tell me Janet divorces Hank. Oh, at some point for sure. At some point for sure. She probably keeps, the cover for a bit, but that's definitely not gonna... Moon Girl on the team wasn't clear in the first episode. Yeah, I kind of added a little bit to that, but yes, we're talking now about the formation of the Avengers. This sounds badass. Yeah, it's an interesting idea. So I have some extra... Oh, we also did this concept last time. This is just some cosmic stuff. We're not gonna worry about this yet. It will matter, but this is like Infinity Stone things. Not a point for now. So, what we have to decide now is who else do we want to be on this universe's Avengers, right? And I will say one thing. The idea that I had in mind, and this is in sort of my notes for later episodes section. I want the first big event crossover of this universe to be like Jackal and his monsters unleash like a full-scale attack on New York City. This would be very similar to the Chitauri attack in the first Avengers movie, right? But the twist being it is the Avengers versus the Spectacular Six versus the monsters. So it is these two superhero teams are fighting each other during this monster attack, right? Because the Spectacular Six is like, we have to control these vigilantes. And so it's the two teams fighting each other and the monsters all at once. I think that would be a really interesting idea for an event. It's an interesting twist on like hero versus hero. Because you could have, I'm thinking panels and stuff. Like, you could have really cool shots of like the classic thing where, two superheroes are like fighting back to back, fighting the monsters. But then like once the monsters are gone, then they turn and start fighting each other. I think that'd be super cool. You could have a lot of really cool imagery. So that's what I want to build to. That is the conclusion of the first arc of this universe. Is it's going to end with Avengers versus Spectacular Six versus Jackal's Legions, which will come up with a cooler name for them. Are any heroes an option, or just ones with similar roles and powers to the original? I'm open to whatever. I am open to whatever here. Now, notably, we don't have an explanation for mutants in this world yet, and we also haven't really touched on magic in this world yet. But we need other characters who we can put into these Avengers, because right now it's just Moon Girl and Wasp. So we definitely need more. Luke Cage will be... Yeah, Amy has also said there are a lot of cool things we could do with the Defenders as them being like people that Jackal did experiment on. And, they maybe got off a little bit better. Off the wall pick, are there any thoughts on Goliath as the strength guy and a good counterpart to Hank Pym? That would also work. I would say, though, we already have a counter to Hank Pym as in Wasp, right? The whole point of Wasp being on this team is that she becomes sort of an individual character outside of Hank, which is something that she deserves. Oh, you're right. I also forgot Dr. Octopus. That's also someone that I definitely want on the Avengers team. I wrote this down very briefly, but I didn't touch on it. I very much like the idea of we kind of follow a Superior Spider-Man arc where Doc Ock becomes more heroic. I like the idea that he gets, we play on the classic scientists are super petty about credit for their work, which I don't know if there are any scientists in my audience. You know that's true if there are. Doc Ock gets fired by Norman Osborn. Norman takes credit for something that he did, blah, blah, blah. So Otto sets out to okay, I'm going to go and prove this whole thing that's happening with Jackal just to take down Norman out of spite. And then he kind of becomes more heroic over the course of that. So Otto Octavius, as you can just call him Dr. Octopus if you want. He's also on the Avengers in this world. Because I like Avengers. Or not Avengers, I do like it. Because I like Doc Ock. I like Doc Ock, and if we have Norman Osborn and Oscorp as a big force, Otto being sort of a counter to that makes sense. So I'm going to start writing this down. So our current Avengers roster, right? Current Avengers roster is there like a Command Shift B? Okay, I'm just going to use the button. Is Moon Girl, Wasp, Doc Ock. I want probably like 3 more, six or 2 more, or I want it to be. Probably not another 6. I don't want it to be a 6v6. I want it to be 5 or 7. I want there to be 5 or 7 members of this Avengers team, so it's not a 6v6. So, has space been mentioned at all? That's a good question. I am open to there being alien characters here, but we have not done any Guardians of the Galaxy level stuff yet. Closest that we have is we have gone over a little bit of what the Infinity Stones are, and then some things with the Celestials. Use Wiccan, only Wiccan, and then he can split off and create his own team down the line. The thing about that would make that tough is then we do have to establish magic. Guy in TikTok comment said Kate Bishop Ronin, and I second that. I don't hate the idea of Kate Bishop Ronin, but what drove her to become that, right? What drove her to become that? This world's... Oh, also, Spider-Man. I have an idea for Spider-Man later. Spider-Man is going to be his own thing. What's the roster of the 6? The roster of the 6 is Norman Osborn, Iron Patriot, Bruce Banner, Gamma Goblin, Hank Pym, Ant-Man, Jim Hammond, Wonder Man, Shocker. I don't have a civilian name for him. It's probably Miles Dillon. Is that Electro's name? Miles Dillon, Shocker, and Loki Mysterio, technically. I'd be down for a Widow of some kind. I also have plans for Widow. I don't know if Luna's here. I kind of want to make Nadia this universe's Black Widow. I like the idea of her not being Wasp, since we already have a Wasp, but her being like same personality, same like very young, upbeat, optimistic, but she's also Black Widow. I think that'd be very funny. Max Dillon is not Miles Dillon. Yeah, Max Dillon. I was half right. Doctor Doom is also part of the larger universe, but we're going to get to him later. He's part of the origin thing that I'm not going to bother recapping now, but he does matter later. Ben Grimm as the Hulk counterpart. Do we want to do a whole Fantastic Four thing, you know? There's a lot of things. The biggest question now is, like, when we put a character on the Avengers, we have to consider the characters that they're nearby, right? And we can change their powers a little bit too. I don't want to make any original characters entirely because that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're doing. But we can modify powers. We can sort of combine and mess around with things. A Captain or Miss Marvel character on the Avengers, majority female Avengers, would be awesome. I mean, I feel like we're probably going to end up with that anyway. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Who else would be a cool fit for an Avengers team that starts off at street level, right? Not a more street level based Avengers, but an Avengers team that actually like forms in response to a larger overreach. Professor X as the guy in the chair. could do Professor X. I don't hate that. But again, then we have to consider the option. We have to. Well, you could have Professor X like not be a mutant at first, and then see. Here's the thing. I'm changing my mind. I don't want to talk about mutants right now because Nikhil is going to be part of this later. Nikhil Clayton is going to be part of this series later, and I want to do mutants with him because he's going to know a lot more about this. Purple Man. How are we going to make Purple Man a good guy? How are we going to make Purple Man a good guy? Speaking of Iron Fist, yeah, no, we won't do Danny Rand Iron Fist. We could do Danny Rand something else. We could take Danny Rand and make him not Iron Fist. What else could we... Oh, that'd be interesting. If not, okay. Actually, I don't hate that idea. We could make Danny Rand not, that'd be funny if we just did Danny Rand as Batman, basically. Because, you know, he's a rich guy. Incoming ad break. I have that now? Oh, there's apparently an ad break starting in a minute. I didn't know I could do that. Warning to everybody, there's an ad break coming in a minute. Huh. As I say, you don't watch them. Go get a drink. Take a bathroom break. The ads support me, but... Danny Rand, Punisher, Danny Rand Iron Man is real. Ooh, because he is rich. Oh, I don't hate that. Hold on. This is interesting. Okay, Danny Rand Iron Man is a very interesting idea. What do we think about this? What do we think about Danny Rand Iron Man? Okay. Is Tony going to even exist? We can deal with him later. Other interesting things. So yeah, son of businessman Wendell Rand, who once lived in the okay. We could do ooh. Okay, I'm thinking here. I'm thinking thoughts. What if the bit for Iron Fist is that he did the whole thing? He did the dragon thing, and he wanted to, you know, he lived in Kunlun still, and we keep all that. But he didn't succeed. He did not succeed. He did not get the Iron Fist powers, and instead used his wealth to make like a technological reproduction of it. So he couldn't get the Iron Fist power, so he used tech to replicate it and becomes Iron Man. Honestly, you can literally just still call him Iron Fist. Yeah, you can still call him Iron Fist, but he's just Iron Man. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and then we can... Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, so he's still just Iron Fist, but it's in the Iron Man sense. Okay. That's really interesting. I like that. No, don't call him Iron Fist just on principle. Yeah. It's an Iron Punch. He didn't win the fight, so he makes the Iron Fist will be what? Yeah, I mean, I like that idea. He loses the fight. Oh, also, if we really hold on. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. We're doing this. We're doing this. Danny Iron Rand. No. We'll call him Iron Man for now. We can change this. So Iron Man, and we'll come up with details for this later. Iron Man Danny Rand is great. I like that. I like that a lot. Purely cosmetic and tiny in detail, but his energy blasts come out of fists instead of... Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. I'm actually imagining like a freaking... This is a reference... I hate making anime references because it makes people think I watch more anime than I do. Not that that's a bad thing, but then people get disappointed. But I'm very much imagining this as like a Jujutsu Kaisen Itadori, like energy punches. Like, I mean, it would... Yeah, okay. Okay, cool. I like this. I like this. Can you really quickly recap what all we figured out tomorrow? I did that about 10 minutes ago. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it again. If I just... Yeah, if... I know it's a lot to cover, but if I had to recap I did that like 10 minutes ago, so sorry. Immortal Iron Man goes so hard. Isn't that a thing? Isn't Immortal Iron Man? I don't know. It's a cool idea. It's a cool idea. So we're definitely doing this. Okay. Danny Rand Iron Man is awesome. I love that. Who else do we want? So an actually Chinese Iron Fist can come in later and kick the snot out of him. Oh yeah, 100%. We would get dude, that would actually be. You could do a really cool. I wonder if someone's done art of this, because you could have a really cool thing of like. He still has like the dragon, but it's like a techie, like kind of anime, like mecha dragon on the suit. That would be very good. I love that. Okay. Who else do we want? One more. It's one more or three more, right? It's one more or three more for this team. Maybe one more to start, and then we add more later, right? Let's take a look at the shelf. I have more Marvel stuff on that shelf. I should be looking over at that shelf. Who else would be fun? I'm tempted to add Darkhawk for no reason at all. What could we do? Ooh. Oh, I haven't. Wait, Doyle Dormammu as the first wizard we see? Oh, wait, that's fun. That's fun. That's a different... That's not for this. That's not for the Avengers. That's a different concept, but it is fun. Would you want someone who's revealed to be an alien later, like Hulkling? Yeah, that could happen. Okay, that's a good idea. Putting in an alien would make sense. Actually, yeah. Oh, okay. We do kind of a classic twist trope here. Everyone thinks he's one of the deviant mutants, and he's actually an alien. And he just does, like, some character, don't know who, but everyone thinks that he's one of Jackal's deviant mutants. We need another name for them, because mutant means something else. Deviant monsters. Actually, hold on. I have an idea here. What is, like... Is there a name? This is going on a little side tangent, but I'll bring it in, I promise. Is there a name for demons in Egyptian mythology, right? Like an overarching name for them. I know that different mythologies and religions have like different names for things, right? Like there's like the Asura in like Zoroastrianism and stuff. Since we have Jackal, and Jackal will probably have more Egyptian imagery, and also I want to tie that into Moon Knight later, we can use that name as a name for his monsters, which would be a better... But I don't know if there is one for that. I mentioned this in the Discord, Danielle Cage Sentry, because of the experiments done on her parents who was born into this overwhelming power. Cool idea, would need to be later down the line, because this is happening right after the experiments. I don't believe so, but to Google I go, yeah, I looked this as well. What if Loki is on the Avengers as Loki playing both sides? Ooh. What if Loki's the Sentry? Oh my god, wait, that would be really funny. We have Loki be Sentry and that not Void, because then he's on the other side as Mysterio. Oh wait, that'd be funny. I know Luna wanted Daniel Cage as Sentry, but like Daniel Cage can be someone else with another name. Loki pretends to be the Sentry, and then he pretends to be Mysterio, and then you keep the bit of like Sentry is. Oh, that's so good. I like that a lot. What do we think about that? How? That's such an interesting idea. Okay, I'm not gonna lock that one down yet, but it's interesting. It's interesting. That's super cool. Okay. Pretends to be Sentry, looks exactly like Thor. Yeah. All right. Okay, maybe we do that. And then I want an alien. I want an alien, not Loki. Loki's more magic-y, but Sentry, also Loki, haha. Because then your bit would be like Sentry and Mysterio or like Nemesis, right? Like you could make up a whole fake or because wait, that would actually be really okay. I like this idea. Okay, I'm saying okay too much, but it's because I'm rolling through this idea in my head before I say it. So Mysterio in this world is going to be to the public very much what MCU Mysterio is, like some sort of not the same origin necessarily. But it's going to be a thing where, like, most people think that he is some, like, grand, super powerful being from something else. It would be a really, really, really funny scene in which Mysterio, who Sentry characterizes himself as, like, Mysterio's, like, old enemy or something. And then there could be a really funny scene where Norman Osborn shows up and is like, hey, Mysterio, you're fake. Why the heck do you have like this weird nemesis guy, you know? Because Osborn fully knows that Mysterio is just a PR thing. And so the scene where Osborn's like, hey, Mysterio, who the hell is this? Like, that'd be really funny. Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, that's good. Loki's doing this because he's stuck on Earth rather than Thor. Loki's motivations we can deal with later because they can really just kind of be whatever we want. I want an alien. I want someone who can be an alien. What species is the question? What species of alien do we want? Or if there's a notable alien character. I don't want him to be a shapeshifter because that kind of defeats the purpose. The idea is that this is a monstery person that people think is one of Jackal's minions and is actually revealed to be an alien later. So that scratches off everyone's Skrull related, basically. Everyone's Skrull related is out. What's Norman Osborn's thing? Does he have an identity or is he just like Osborn? Probably Iron Patriot. We'll just pull out of the Dark Avengers. I don't think his identity would be secret. Everyone would know that it's Norman Osborn, but it would be Iron Patriot. Not Venom. Symbiotes are going to be separate in this as well. I didn't say that earlier, but symbiotes are a thing in this universe. Lilandra's a weird pull. Mantis, I have her as the Iron Fist in my world. What if she's the bearer of the Life Stone? But here's I want someone more monstery. I want to be I don't want it to be a human-like alien because the whole bit is that they are pretending to be a jackal monster, you know? It cannot be someone who could easily pass as human. Mantis, you give her a hat and she passes as human. So does Super Skrull still have a shapeshifter or is he augmented? I'm not going to lie, I don't even remember. Generally, I believe yes, but there are some exceptions where like they can only use one power at a time. Sometimes it's the whole thing. Pog, just make him an alien instead of a goblin. No, Mantis is green. There are not all the time, right? There are versions of Mantis where she is white essentially. Whatever Yondu's species is, Brew. I don't want it to be anyone. Let me look up some Guardians of the Galaxy rosters, right? Guardians of the Galaxy roster. List the Guardians of the Galaxy members. Sweet. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to. There we go. Okay. List the Guardians of the Galaxy members. All right, sure. Hold on, I gotta respond to a business Discord DM. Hold on. I'm setting up stuff for a charity partnership I'm doing in October. I can actually kind of announce this. We're doing, this is officially confirmed now. The charity partnership I'm doing in October this year is D and Dorks stuff. So we're doing a 3-episode D and Dorks miniseries this October, and that's going to be like the charity tie-in thing this month. It's going to be fun. No details yet about how that's going to work. But yeah, D and Dorks charity partnership this month. Not this month, this October. This year. Okay. Original team. Martinex, maybe. Do we get to ruin Matt's life for charity again? No! This time it's D&D related. This time it's going to be D&D related. Halloween charity stream returns last 3 Fridays in October. So 13th, whatever's after the 13th, 20th, and the 27th, D and Dorks 3-episode miniseries, and that's going to be a charity partnership thing. Okay, let's see. Galactic Guardians. Who here would be a good weird pull? Because I do want it to be a weird pull. I know it's a Beta Ray Bill. But make Mosaic important. Mosaic. We just put in CGR. We put Cosmic Ghost Rider in there. You can still donate during regular streams in October. Technically, I don't know how exactly that's going to work. The link is going to be up the whole time, but I'm not going to have, like, the banners on everything. Like, I'm not going to have, like, the charity integrated on other streams because it's a bigger thing. But the charity link will still be up for the month. It's just only going to be, like, a thing in D&D Dorks. Groot is a great pull. I know everyone's... Groot... Maybe Groot. I feel like Groot is the option that I feel like we're drifting towards. You know, I just had a thought. It has to be Groot. You know how I was saying earlier, I was like, oh, so yeah, the bit here is that it's gonna be an alien who's, like, pretending to be one of Jackal's monsters, right? What if it is Groot, and he's not pretending to be one of Jackal's monsters? That's just what everyone assumes he is, and no one can understand him. So they're like, are you one of Jackal's monsters? And he's like, no, but he just says, I am Groot, and so no one fucking knows. Oh, that's so dumb in a way that I do like... Someone gets a translator for Groot later and he's like, no, I was never pretending to be one of Jackal's monsters. I just didn't really want to bother correcting you because it would have been too complicated. Oh, that's so dumb. All right, cool. Groot's an Avenger. We need one more. I don't want it to be 6v6. I want it to have a different number. So we need one more. We need one more. Oh, that's so dumb. What if Groot is looking on Earth for Rocket and that's why he's there? That's valid. That's valid. We'll come up with a specific origin. I want to get the team roster set up, and then what this stream is we are setting up the Avengers. So we will go through these and figure out their individual stuff once we have the team roster. What sort of roles do we have, right? We have the smart ones in Moon Girl and Doc Ock. Wasp is our team leader, I think. Wasp is definitely the leader. She's the one that assembles the team. Danny Rand Iron Man is definitely not the tech guy. He just, like, commissioned the suit from somebody. We'll figure out who later. Maybe he claims to make it and he actually got it from, like, Tinker or something. But he's a powerhouse. Sentry is also a powerhouse, but he's not really. That's a whole fake out thing. Groot is a strong character. We ended up with mostly men anyway. Well, I mean, we can make the other one either a woman or a non-binary person, so we don't have... To be fair, when we're working with Marvel characters, we are working with established characters. Can we put Alexis? Which Alexis? Avengers AI Alexis? Or am I thinking of something else? The Captain, and I do mean him. No. Add Silhouette, Clea. I'm trying not to touch magic too much yet, because magic is another thing we're going to have to establish. Make Sentry Loki female Loki. Oh, that's good. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Yes. That's great. And that is also a split of, like, differentiating themselves. Sentry is Lady Loki, and Loki just switches. Great. Excellent. Hypno Hustler. No, not Hypno Hustler. Not Hypno Hustler. Why Hypno Hustler? No. Jackpot would be wild. Jackpot would be crazy. I must suggest a Hawkeye. But what's his thing, though? We have to make him different. We have to make him a different Hawkeye, right? Human fly, but a woman. Also no. Spider hero. Also no. Harry Osborn as Punisher because he found out that his dad is allowing this to continue. I actually had the idea. I'm going to go ahead and sort of tease this. We're going to talk about this in a future episode, so we're not going to talk about this tonight. But I had an interesting idea where, like, Aunt May gets killed by somebody. So Aunt May gets killed by somebody, so Peter has nobody. Peter gets adopted by Norman. Him and Harry grow up together. And I think it would be cool if then Peter becomes Spider-Man and Harry becomes Beetle. And they're like a duo for a bit. Is Peter and Harry as Spider-Man and Beetle. That's my pitch for Spider-Man that we'll get to later. We're not talking about that now. But also the music stopped. Why is it doing that? This video does a thing now where it stops like 40 minutes in, and I don't know why. Anyway, thanks for letting me know. Okay, let's see. We need one more. We did our alien. Songbird. I heard Tinkerer mention, can Tinkerer be Finn Mason? I'm assuming when you say Finn Mason, you mean the Miles Morales video game one. Because Phineas Mason is always Tinkerer. It's just the name is the same, but the character is very different. Do Dagger, but the version where she has Cloak's powers? Is that already a thing? No mutants, no magic, no Spider-Man, real limited. Well, yeah, man, but that's kind of what the Avengers is. We'll get there later. Have patience. Have patience. This is the start of the whole universe, right? The start of the whole universe. There are... The idea of the Avengers is that there are a lot of... Usually, there are characters that don't fit into other categories as well, so... Okay, let's see. Oh, another ad break. When did they start giving me ad break warnings? That's super nice. That's super nice. Anyway, who's filling in Cap's role? That is, we don't have any sort of Captain America analog. Do we want a Captain America analog? Someone from the past, right? So not like Khazar, not super far past. There are mutants and magic on the Avengers. There are. But one of the large points of the Avengers is that it is not like Iron Man, Thor, Cap. Thor is magic, but Thor's magic in a different way. Iron Man, Thor, Cap, Captain Marvel, Hulk. When you think of the Avengers, the most iconic Avengers are not mutants and they are not magic. The Avengers is a catch-all team, but their core roster is characters that are individual and don't fit anywhere else. That is what the point of the Avengers is. Don't try to correct me on Avengers stuff. I know my Avengers. Okay. Captain Marvel, but she doesn't have powers yet. She's just there as a military liaison. I like the idea of having some sort of Captain America analog in here. Khazar actually sounds silly. Khazar's important in this world. He's just going to do something else later. Jump straight to Bucky as Cap? I don't hate that. Ooh. I got a weird pitch. I don't know if people are going to like this or not. I don't know if people are even going to get this or not. This might be too niche. It's not that niche, but this might be relatively niche. Let me hit you with Bucky Barnes Nomad as an original Avengers member. Bucky Barnes Nomad? No, that's interesting, but I don't want, no, not an Avenger. Bucky Barnes Nomad, sure, maybe, but not an Avenger. Interesting idea. I think we'll, Yeah, I can see my ad counters now. That's super nice. Okay. That's great. People are on ads right now, so I can just stall and figure out what I want to do for a second. That fits considering this team is not starting out as the public-facing good. Okay, fine. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do Bucky Barnes Nomad. So I'll write that down. Now let's start going through stuff. Bucky Nomad. That's not what you used. Alright. Put this here. Let's start going through their deeds. So Groot's easy, right? Groot's easy. Alien. On Earth. People assume he is Jackal Monster. Doesn't correct anyone. So now the thing, and I know we're starting on Groot, but I think it's because he's going to be one of the easiest. Fix your spelling on no man. Oh, yep. No man. No man is not, I mean, that's not a, anyway. So why is Groot on Earth? Someone had the idea of him looking for Rocket. I don't dislike that. Why is he looking for Rocket? Why is Rocket on Earth? We don't have to have this super fleshed out yet, but we do need a reason for why Groot is here, right? Let's see. Why would he be on Earth, or why would he be chasing Rocket? Amy's yelling at me. What? Why is Amy yelling at what? What did I do? What did I do? Whenever Amy make Rocket do the kidnapping story from Guardians of the Galaxy and he crashes. Oh, wait, like the Star-Lord kidnapping thing? Oh. Oh, that's so make Rocket the equivalent of Yondu. Oh, I don't hate. Ooh. He just fucks it up. Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah. Rocket comes to Earth to get Quill. And then I'm just gonna be blunt. Fucks it up. And then gets stuck. And then Groot comes to get him. Yeah, okay. That's fun. That's fun. Okay, cool. Rocket comes to Earth to get Quill, messes it up. Groot comes to get him, and ends up with, and like, Groot's, the fun thing about like why Groot is on this Avengers team, Groot's just chill. Like, it would be within Groot's personality to just be like, yeah, these people need help. Rocket will be fine. He can take care of himself. I'm gonna help with these people and I'm gonna look for them. Figure it. Okay, great. Love that. So that's why Groot's here. So Sentry is also Loki. Characterizes, this is Lady Loki, characterizes herself as a rival to Mysterio. Just messing around in human affairs. Like, anything that Sentry has is like, any backstory that Sentry has is kind of fabricated. I actually really like this Sentry as Loki idea because it really does pull in a lot of stuff from Sentry. Like, Sentry being both a good guy and a bad guy. That's important. Sentry having like weird messed up origins where like, did he actually do this stuff or not? That's part of Sentry. It fits weirdly well. Would Yondu take Peter after Rocket messes up? Maybe, but we're not going to worry about Guardians yet. Gotta love buff Lady Sentry. Oh yeah, this would be, I'm trying to think of like a good like visual analog, but yeah, there would be good stuff. Okay. So here's something that we should figure out. What is the origin of Mysterio in this universe, right? As I don't really just want to rip it from Far From Home. We could just rip it from Far From Home, or like, it was some sort of, interdimensional hero who got, maybe we do rip it from Far From Home. It's fine. Maybe we do just rip it from Far From Home. It can be simple enough for that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. If we want to come up with better ideas, we can do that later, but it's okay. We could also do Superman. Maybe the PR lie is that he's Asgardian. Nah, because I do want him to be the Superman analog. He is supposed to be kind of a Superman parody in this sense. Anyway, okay. We already did Iron Man, so Danny Rand fails I don't remember the Xiao Lao, but I don't know how to spell that, so I'm just gonna write Dragon Test. I could Google it, but I don't care. Fails the Dragon Test, uses his money to commission the Iron Man suit because he's bitter about it. That would very much be his characterization, is like he's doing good stuff, but he is fully doing good superhero things because he's just a bitter asshole. I think that's fun. I think that's interesting. Your spelling of spider on the bottom is... Oh, well, yeah, but that's... Get that out of here. That's notes for later episodes. That's personal notes. Don't worry about that. Maybe Mysterio and Sentry are literally separate parts of Loki. That's a good idea, Saint. I think it's too good of an idea. Because I do like the idea. Like, I like the idea that Loki is literally just screwing with everybody. Like, I don't want to put in too much, like, serious stuff in this Loki thing, because I think that actually Loki getting revealed would be, like, the second major arc, Like, somewhere in the fight between the Spectacular Six and the Avengers, Loki gets revealed, like, then or shortly thereafter, and then that realization of, like, we've just been being manipulated by this god. Oh, wait, there are gods? Like, that would be the second thing. So I want it to be low-key. I want it to be low-key intentionally, Say just read the entirety of the Avengers catalog this weekend. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I actively do want Loki to have very little good motivation for doing this, because I think that makes the most sense, ironically. Thought of a possible name for the Jackal Deviants. There's a plant genus named after Anubis called Anubius. Maybe that could work. Could also be Apophis and Apep. I've heard of that. I'll keep thinking. I'll keep thinking, because I know who Apophis is, but okay, yeah. Let's see. So who else? Oh, we kind of have all these already. Doc Ock, fired by Oscorp, or not even necessarily fired by Oscorp. He could be a man on the inside, but mad at Osborn. We'll leave that open for now. Mad at Osborn. I put an E on there. Wants to expose the company. Starts off fighting Jackal for own ends. Becomes more heroic over time. I also like this because this also kind of plays into, like, with great power comes great responsibility, right? It's not the exact same, but the idea that Osborn, like, starts off doing superhero stuff for his own ends and then becomes more genuinely heroic over time. Like, that's also what happened to Spider-Man. So that's good. Wasp, we already talked about Wasp last time. Still, Hank's wife finds out about Six corruption, becomes vigilante, and forms the Avengers. I think she's the one that gets the team together. And then Moon Girl is first superhero. I mean, like, I think Moon Girl is literally just, like, I think her motivations are going to be very pure, because she also is a child. So her motivation is, like, yeah, she's just doing superhero stuff. We can coming up with her, like, more complex story arcs would definitely follow. But, like, she's the first superhero. She's just, that's why she's there. What about Nadia, though? Nadia, I like Nadia's Widow. I don't know if you were there when I said that, Luna, but I like Nadia as Widow. I think that's fun, but that's later. Bucky Barnes Nomad. So where the heck... Ooh, this is an interesting idea. Okay. Okay. Cool idea here. Let me toss this around my head for a second before presenting it. Bucky Barnes is found by Otto. Because Otto, in his quest to expose Jackal, does research and finds out about an older, similar experiment. Not because the super soldier serum is going to have something to do with the same place that the deviants come from, right? So while Otto is trying to expose Jackal, he finds out about this old experiment and tracks the guy down. And it's just Bucky, like a hermit, living off in exile somewhere because he doesn't want to be involved. And then Otto convinces him to come back. So that's his thing. It's like, he wasn't frozen. He was just an experiment from a long time ago. But since it's not Steve, it's Bucky. He was like, I don't want to do this. And he just sort of stays separate from everybody else. And then Doc Ock brings him back, probably more for like revenge. You're like, hey, more people are going to get screwed over in the same way you got screwed over. You want to help stop that? That kind of thing. Steve hasn't been defrosted yet. That could be the second, third arc. Yes, you can bring Steve in later. But I do like the idea of like hermit Bucky Barnes. Also, okay, another pitch, old Bucky Barnes. Old Bucky Barnes. Not like 80 Bucky Barnes, like 80-year-old Bucky Barnes, but like 50, 60-year-old Bucky Barnes. So we get like a gray hair, like old man Logan Bucky Barnes Nomad. Mostly because then Bucky will be our thirst trap character. I'm gonna be honest. Look, we need a thirst trap character on the Avengers, and like 60-year-old Bucky Barnes, I do think fits that criteria. Tell me I'm wrong, chat. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah, middle-aged to gray hair Bucky. But we're talking like old man Logan, like still super soldier Bucky. I like that. Okay, so old experiment discovered. Well, old experiment who has been a hermit discovered by Otto. Luna, I saw, but we're not adding him yet. We have our team now. Okay. Reluctantly joins team to stop people. That what you wanted, chat? There, I fixed. It's hard to type when my angles are like this. Okay. Discovered by Otto. Reluctantly joins team to stop people from getting screwed over like he did. Guys, it's hard to type when there are a bunch of people watching. I'm late. Moon Girl? Yeah, Moon Girl is our Avenger our first Avenger here. In what world is any Loki not thirst trap material? We can have a thirst trap for everybody. We have a thirst trap for everybody. We have Loki and we have Bucky Barnes. Thirst trap for everyone's taste. All right, cool. I like this. So then this is our Avengers team. Let's go ahead and do the same thing that we just did, but for the Spectacular Six, right? And these can be a little bit more bare bones because they're not going to be they're going to be our villains, not our main characters. So we got to do stuff for them. But does Bucky still have the metal arm? Oh, 100%. 100% yes. Why is it a square? I didn't know that it would default to square when it was the third one. Oh, well. Anyway, this is... ooh, okay. Interesting idea for Bucky. So, origin is largely the same for Gamma Goblin, right? Same with Hulk stuff. Goblin serum is developed to control it. What do we think about that? Like the origin of Bruce Banner up to Hulk is basically the same, where he turns into Hulk, but then like the Goblin serum is developed because the Goblin serum does affect the mind, so it could be a thing where it was like, the Goblin serum is developed to control it, and that's why he's got the gamma. Is that good? That's simple enough, right? Professor Hulk but evil, but yeah, basically Professor Hulk but with some Green Goblin in there. Mysterio, Loki, we kind of already did this. Don't really need to do a lot. Hank Pym Ant-Man, basically the same. He's unchanged, right? He is unchanged. He's just a little bit more openly morally ambiguous. Sure, seems weird, but sure. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be weird. Okay, let's see. Hang on one second. I gotta check something here. Where was this? Okay. Where are... Oh, right. Wonder Man. So, Wonder Man Construct... Whoops. Construct based on Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, and Ultron. Well, we don't have to say that. We already put that in the... Construct made by Pym and Osborn. Robot hero with, he's Robot Human Torch. We call him Wonder Man for the bit, but he's Robot Human Torch. Torch, essentially. Probably one of, morally just like a puppet of Osborn, right? Morally just totally a puppet of Osborn. And then Shocker, Electro Hybrid. I like the idea that Electro is just in it for the money, which is what he is in character. Money dips and becomes a mercenary later. Because I like this idea of I think that plays a lot to Osborn having the less moral team. Is it's a bunch of his team is scientists and people that he experimented on, And then Electro just, like, he just gets paid. He just gets paid. Maybe he was someone who got experimented on and was, like, going to be a whistleblower. And then Osborn's like, I'll pay you if you join my superhero team. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Originally an experiment subject who was going to be a whistleblower, but Osborn pays him off. And then he joins the team. Do you like that? Personality of Shocker. So I think it's literally just Electro. Like, it is Max Dillon Electro, but he has the identity of Shocker. He was going to be a whistleblower, not for ethics, just for, like, the money and the fame. And Osborn was like, hey, if you want money and fame, don't expose me. You got superpowers now. Come and join my team. And Electro's like, hell yeah. And takes the money. And this Electro shoots... Yeah, and that is the reason we call him Shocker, is because he actually shoots electricity. He does not... You know, he's the Shocker. He shocks people, for real. He's the one that kills Aunt May later. He's got to be the one that kills Aunt May. Why do we want Shocker to be the one that kills Aunt May? So that we could have... Shocker! I will follow you to the ends of the earth! Just for that. Just for that, we give Spider-Man a reason to follow Shocker to the ends of the earth. Yes, canon. Stupid canon. Why do we want Aunt May to die? Because that's gonna... I have a reason for that later. That's gonna be in the Spider-Man episode of this series. But I'm just setting that up. We're 100% giving Spider-Man a reason to follow Shocker to the ends of the earth. That's so dumb that I have to do it. I don't get the reference. Google it. Google it. Okay, yes. Excellent. Excellent. Is Uncle Ben dead? Yes, he is also dead. Hold on. Hold on. I hate how much I love it. Yeah, it's stupid and it's excellent. Does Gamma Goblin still have DID in your universe? Yeah, I think that would make sense. It you know, we're taking a guy that has mental illness and we're throwing way more bad mental illness chemicals into it. So, 100%. Peter can't have nice things in any universe. No, he cannot. But we're going to be a little bit more interesting with Peter, at least. Maybe not necessarily nicer to him, but more interesting. Okay, so we have our Avengers roster here. We have our Avengers roster. Obviously, first is Moon Girl. I think Wasp is probably, like... The question... Okay. Here's an interesting question. How long do we want this to take place? So is this your own version of the comics or the MCU? I mean, kind of a sort of moot point. Like, we're using character... You know, it's not really meant to be a version of either. I'm drawing from both. It's just a different iteration of Marvel. Not necessarily a... Not necessarily pulling directly only from the movies or directly only from the comics. We're pulling from both and just taking the best parts of each. End of year one. So yes, this is an end of year one thing. So the order of things is that Moon Girl's first. I think Wasp can be second for sure. Actually, Moon Girl, Wasp, and Doc Ock show up around the same time. Danny Rand Iron Man is like off doing his thing, and then he kind of has a separate thing and gets wrapped in later. Groot just kind of... Ooh, that could actually be funny. Okay. What's your universe number? A lot of people have been asking what the universe number should be for this. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I'm going to wait until we're more through, and then I'm going to try to pick something fitting. Whoops. You know? Right as you started to answer my question, I got hit with an ad. Yeah, I saw that. Sorry. To answer it anyway. Neither, really. It's kind of a moot point. I'm taking inspiration from both. You know, like... in a way, I'm kind of doing what the MCU did to the comics, right? Like, the MCU is an adaptation and a different way of telling largely the similar story with similar characters. We're just doing that again. I'm pulling from both. Is it Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? Yeah, 100%. So what I was thinking for how these characters show up, Groot definitely just like Groot shows up. I think Sentry just also shows up. I think we can make that a bit, right? They just like find Groot and Groot joins the team like very low, pun not intended, very low key. And Groot's just like there and everyone's like, yeah, he wants to help. Let's let him in. And then I think Sentry also shows up like that, like very intentionally playing to the same trope, you know? Groot's like the one that just kind of randomly shows up. Yeah, cool. And then Sentry also does that, and that's like the bit. Does that make sense? People know what I'm doing there. Also, I know people keep saying make the name like some sort of numerical iteration of Sir Superhero or my name. I don't really want to do that. I want to do something more, I don't want to say more creative, but more like unique. I don't want to just make it my name. I want to give it a better version, which we'll come up with. Something tied into the lore, not tied into the creator. That's how I should phrase it. Okay, so we have our Avengers roster. Set up. So the arc that we have now is these guys form the Avengers, start doing vigilante things, fighting Jackal's monsters, and then eventually they go and fight the Spectacular Six at the end. So two things we needed to, main thing we need to determine now arc-wise, right? What leads Jackal to the final confrontation, right? Because I want there to be something that powers Jackal up or gets Jackal like a lot of new monsters, something that leads him to do the big invasion that is like the event at the end of this year one, as Luna called it. Hello, Mother. Welcome. So what powers Jackal up? It can be something else, right? This is where we could introduce like something magic. This is where we could introduce another sort of element. He's getting tired of Osborn ignoring him. I mean more mechanically. I mean more mechanically rather than motivation, right? Like Jackal up to this point has been like sitting in the sewers making monsters. What elevates him? Hello, Cherry. How are you feeling? Are you still... Happy birthday, for what? This is going to be such a tragic thing that I'm about to say. And I'm... Happy birthday, Cherry. Are you feeling okay after getting hit by that car? I'm so sorry. That's... Loki gives him Nornstones. Yeah, Loki also could... Yeah, what? Yeah, Cherry's had a bad day. Cherry's had a not great time. Okay, let's see. Do we want it to be... Ooh. Okay. The idea that Loki, who is Cherry? Cherry's one of the Sleepy Cerise. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It's probably, I know that's like French for Cherry. In chat is another one of the mods. Actually, Cherry, are you a mod on here? I don't think you are a mod on here. You're a Discord mod. Here, there, done. Anyway, so okay. The Spectacular Six and the Avengers, after some level of time, settle into a rhythm, right? Because the Spectacular Six, at least most of them, are not openly evil, right? They are superheroes. They're just not really good at it. They operate more for Osborn's ends than anything else, but like they are stopping villains, you know? Their crimes are more other than like Osborn doing other than them doing experiments behind the scenes. As superheroes, their crimes are not that they are doing bad things, then they are ignoring other things, right? Yeah, y'all are in trouble now. Cherry is much less nice than I am. That is also true. But also, more mods takes less pressure off Amy, and that is helpful. So, the Spectacular Six is not doing anything wrong openly in their superhero identities. They're just ignoring stuff. So, with the Avengers to cover the lower level things, they eventually settle into a rhythm, and Loki gets bored. Loki just straight up gets bored because Loki is on both teams, just having fun, doing stuff. But eventually they settle into a pattern and Loki's like, this sucks. I thought they would fight and they're not fighting. I'm going to go meddle in the third factor, right? Because that's the thing. There are 3 factors in Marvel New York City at this point. We have the Spectacular Six, we have the Avengers, and we have Jackal. Everyone settles into a pattern. Loki gets bored and decides to stir the pot. I think that's good. I think that's solid. I think that's solid. How do we feel about that? As for specifically like what he gets, that we can worry about later. Later in like 60 seconds. But do we like that for how Jackal gets? I like that just Loki's just screwing with everything. Loki's just a man-child. Yes. To be honest, that's completely normal for Loki. Again, we're pulling very intentional. I'm trying to keep a lot of the same thematics as the original Marvel Universe has. Because that's kind of the point of this, right? If I were just writing my own superhero universe, I would write my own superhero universe. But the point of rewriting the Marvel Universe is to keep the same thematics. And Loki doing things that kickstart Avengers plot lines, yeah, that 100% happens. So, good. Good, okay. Yeah, alright, awesome. Let me write this down. So, eventually, the 3 factors, S6, Avengers, Jackal, settle into a pattern where everything is at least decently handled, and Loki gets bored. And handled. There we go. Loki gets bored, decides to meddle in the only factor they have not yet screwed with, and powers up Jackal. So, yeah, okay, great. So we need the thing that powers up Jackal, right? Do we want it to straight up be an Infinity Stone? I feel like it's a little early to put those in, but also it would be very much a thing. Well, then again, that would kind of set up, because I want, one of the second year 2 of this universe, right? Year 2 of this universe is... You know what? That actually makes sense. Year 2 of this universe is like cosmic magic, right? Year 1 is Avengers. Year 2 of this universe is where we introduce cosmic magic. So Loki gives Jackal an Infinity Stone. In that process, reveals themselves as Loki, and then that kickstarts year 2 of like, oh, there's more than just monsters. There's cosmic magic going around here. I don't hate that. Yeah, it's simple. It's simple, but also that pulls MCU stuff, right? That pulls in some MCU stuff. So with the Life Stone, okay, I think that's good. Powers up Jackal with the Life Stone. That kickstarts Jackal's ability to make more monsters. And then we get to the... What do we want the... Okay. All right, great. I want to take a bathroom break really quick because I've been hydrating a lot since I was recording earlier. So, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I will be back in like 2 minutes. But here's my challenge to you guys. And I'm going to be thinking about this while I go to the bathroom, I guess. The end event of year 1 is, again, this sort of 3-way conflict. It is Jackal with the Life Stone is like launching his full-scale attack on the city. And during this, the Avengers and the Spectacular Six are fighting that and also fighting each other. It is a hero versus hero fight, classic trope. It is literally smashing together like Civil War and an alien invasion. We're just putting those together, and I think that's interesting. What do we name it? What do we name the big event conclusion of year 1? That is my question to you guys. We will come up with a name, together. But pitch me some ideas in chat. I'm going to be thinking. I will be right back. So we will continue this in like 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. I'm back. What names do we have? Any good ones? Let me see. What do we got here? What does my mom say? The long hair's thanks to code. That is true. My hair is... I don't know if my mother is sharing secret information, but yeah, the reason I have long hair is because I just didn't get it cut over COVID, and I just kind of liked it like that. It's like way longer than people expect. It's also really curly. It's also just like kind of not super well brushed right now, but like it's behind me on camera, so who cares? But yeah, the reason I have long hair is because I just didn't bother getting it cut during COVID, and I liked it. So now I have really long hair. Okay, let's see. What do we have for the name here? We got distracted. Did you distract them, mother? Okay, let's see. Stiltman the Stiltwar. Nope, we're done with the Stiltman bit. Okay, let's see. Because we need the idea that it has to also, if we want to go off Marvel tropes, it has to have the name Secret or War or Infinity. Not actually, but like the I think it would be really, this is a sort of tangent, but this is something that we would maybe do in this universe later. I really want Marvel to make a Deadpool comic, like a Deadpool event, like a fake Deadpool event miniseries called Deadpool, like Secret Infinity Empire Wars or something. Just slap together all of Marvel's favorite words. I think that'd be very funny. Secrets Unleashed is decent. Crossroads is decent. Oh, Trinity is good. Trinity something or some Trinity War. We just rip Infinity War. Call it Trinity War. I don't hate that. I don't actually hate that. Is that a thing? It is just such a rip of Infinity War that I don't like it. That I don't hate it. I do like it. Trinity War is from DC. Never mind. Trinity War is a straight up DC comic from 2011. Never mind. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. That is just from a DC comic. What is this even about? Justice League versus Justice League of America versus Justice League Dark. Okay, so it's just Civil War, but 3, which is not a ripoff of, or we're not doing a ripoff of that because we're doing hero versus pseudo-hero versus villain. Hero, anti-hero, villain, kind of. The fact that it is in fact DC makes it better. I know, but I want to take this at least decently seriously. Secret Trinity, Secret being in there is good in Trinity War. Shouldn't have made this joke. Reign of the Jack. No, because I wanted to focus more on the hero side of things. The Spectacular Six. Think of it as the Spectacular Six versus the Avengers in the framing of the invasion, right? The important part of it is the hero versus hero. I know people are saying three-sided coin. I don't... Here's the thing. I like that as an arc name. It doesn't sound like an event name, right? It doesn't sound like an event name. It sounds like a subtitle on a like a specific trade, not an event. Amy says, "Oh wait, the Discord campaign. If I say anything with Discord, people are gonna laugh, but I don't dislike it." Secret Invasion. It's just, since he invaded all the teams, we just make this our Secret Invasion. There's always a third option as a subtitle idea. That's fair. See, I'm so bad at naming things, man. I'm so bad at naming things. Even when people are yelling a billion names at me. Loki invade, because Loki's whole thing is so... No, I get it. I get it. It's just Discord is one that people will laugh at as connotations now. Maybe we'll come back to this, because I'm super picky with my names. I'm super picky with my names of things. Maybe I'll come back to it. Because none are jumping out at me. There are some good options, but none are leaping out at me. Also, there's going to be an ad in like 30 seconds. So, I think I'm going to think for like 90 seconds so that we get through the ad. And if I don't come up with anything else, we're going to move on. And then we're going to... Well, I'll come up with something. That Deadpool comic being called Secret Infinity Invasion War 2, even though it's the first one, that is funny. That is a good idea. Okay. Spectacular Avengers, but that might be better for... Oh yeah, Spectacular Avengers would definitely have to happen, but it would be a later thing. Okay, I think we're in an ad now, so let me again just kind of think for a minute. I'll keep talking because I'm a streamer, so if I shut up, it becomes awkward. So I'll just babble on about nothing for 60 seconds. But yeah, I might just have to think of this over like the coming week and come up with something else. I have an idea for what we need to do to proceed next, but I am going to, wait for a little bit more until this ad is done so that I don't have to restate myself as much. If only it was 2, then it would be Symmetry War. The parallels to the original Symmetry War arc or what it was supposed to be are not lost on me, but I like this more. Okay, yeah. So, the ad should be done. Maybe the ad's been done for like a while and I was just wrong and looking at the wrong thing. Oh well. Okay, so, regardless. Do the ads hit every... Oh, ad break in prog... Wait, what? Why is the ad break starting now? It told me it was going to start... Okay, so it's giving me ad warnings now, but they don't work. It gave me an ad warning. It was like, ad in 60 seconds, and then it went away 60 seconds later, and now there's an ad. Alright, whatever. Anyway, thanks, Twitch, for messing with me. I'll blabber on for 45 seconds. Anyway, here is... Okay. I know what I have to do to proceed here. We're going to start talking about year 2 next, which again, I'm going to wait for 30 seconds to say what that is, but like for people watching the VODs, I don't just want to do nothing for 2 minutes. But I do have from here on out, I'm going to come up with another name. We're going to do year 2. And then year 3 is probably going to be mutants. But we're not going to talk about year 3 yet. In 10 seconds, I'll talk about it. Someone said I had no ads all stream. Yeah, it doesn't hit everybody all the time. Also, if anyone's curious what I'm like tossing, I'll go to my big cam and show everybody. It's just a D4. It's a metal D4 that I have. That's all it is. Add into my community pack. Okay, sorry about the ads being weird. The ad counter was wrong. Anyway. So, I'm going to come up with a name later because I'm picky about my names. But, what we're going to start doing now is we're going to start talking about year 2 stuff, right? Year 2 overview of this universe. I think year 2 is going to be like cosmic magic sorts of stuff. It is, the Avengers have done their thing. The Spectacular Six have done their thing. There's still factors, obviously, but the main overarching build-up is definitely going to be some cosmic magic thing. So this is where we get to start sort of zooming out and doing some magic-y characters. I think year 3 is going to be mutant stuff. The reason for that being that's when we'll do some of that like next week and the week after when Nikhil's here. Speaking of that, I'm going to actually make sure he didn't text me and I missed it. And just so I don't accidentally show you his phone number, I'm going to pull up my main screen and cover that. Okay, he did not. Good, cool. So I don't think we're going to get Nikhil on this one, but we'll get Nikhil on next week. So, show me his phone number to only me. I mean, that would be kind of funny, but I'm not going to do that. Honestly, I probably could. I don't think he'd mind. I think Nikhil's accidentally shown his stuff before anyway. Okay, let's see. Could we add the symbiote somewhere? Yes, symbiotes are going to matter, but we're going to talk about them when we start putting in Spider-Man, because they are also part of the overarching stuff of this universe. Like, go back and watch episode 1. In the bad, complicated part of episode 1, they matter a little bit here, but we're not going to worry about that yet. So, after the currently unnamed event, because I'm picky about things, the currently unnamed event concludes. I think Loki should be revealed at the end of this, right? I think Loki being revealed as part of both teams is an important factor. Maybe someone was asking earlier, like, is the Loki reveal something that is... Do the audience and the readers know that Loki is on both teams? I think the audience figures out that Loki is on one team, and then the reveal that Loki is on the other team happens in the event. We can do them two staggered at separate times. As for which comes first, that's not the type of thing that I want to lock down, because that would be something that would be like very dependent on the narratives of each issue. But I like the idea that Loki gets revealed as one half of the Loki plot gets revealed beforehand, and then the other half gets revealed in the event itself. So, the event goes down. Loki is revealed. I don't think this shuts down the Spectacular Six. I think the Spectacular Six are still very much a force in this universe, but the fact that the Avengers were also fighting the monsters, and the fact that Mysterio was part of the Spectacular Six, it deals a blow to them in like the PR front, and it kind of legitimizes the Avengers, right? I think even though Loki was also on the Avengers, that because they're the more subtle team at this time, that kind of flies under the radar. So it deals a big blow to the PR of the Spectacular Six, legitimizes the Avengers as like an independent team in the minds of the people. We see that? We see that here? So, aftermath of the event, right? Aftermath of the event, or aftermath of year one, we'll call it. Loki gets revealed. Deals blow to the PR of the Six. Not really kinda, let's use strong language. Legitimizes the Avengers, legitimizes the Avengers in the process, right? So that's the big sort of status quo change. Because I feel like even though it got revealed, they still see us as a win. Oh, 100%. Yes, 100% would still be like, yeah, this is fine. Doesn't get caught, I think. I think it's important that that Loki doesn't get caught. And I think that one of the big things that could happen after this is Thor shows up, right? This is where Thor shows up. Thor shows up to go and get Loki. Obviously, the Infinity Stones are now kind of in play. I think someone gets the Infinity Stone, like that goes into government containment or something. This definitely inspires more heroes and villains. This is where we start getting more like unconnected heroes and, you know, their own series and stuff, but we can worry about that in a second. Loki vanishes, I think. Loki does not get caught. Vanishes. Thor shows up to get him. So, here's the question now. Where does Thor go? Does Thor join the Spectacular Six? Because again, this can be a very different... The question is, does Thor... I think there's actually options here. Thor could join the Spectacular Six, or Thor could be a fully independent actor. Thor can be a fully independent actor. That is a possible thing. Like, he says, no, like, I'm not... Maybe actually that's an important... Ooh. That's interesting. Okay. That is one way that we could show narratively the Spectacular Six losing a lot of their legitimacy, right? Because Thor could show up to catch Loki, and then Osborn could try to do this whole grandstanding thing. It's like, well, Loki tricked us too. You can join us and we can come bring him in together and protect the people of Earth in the process. And Thor goes, hell no, you guys let Loki on your team, and stays as an independent actor. I actually think that's better. I think it's better if he gets an offer to join the team and just totally rejects it, and then Thor stays as an independent actor. That is better. That is better. Okay, cool. Thor shows up to get him. Gets... What the heck? What the heck? What is happening with my interface here? There we go. Gets invited to the Six. What is up? Gets invited to the Six, but says hell no. And remains independent. Okay, cool. Can you make it canon in this universe that Loki is also Brennan Lee Mulligan? Sure. Sure. Regular Thor, Lady Thor. Not Jane Foster Thor. Not Jane Foster. This is Odin's son Thor. This is Thor Odin's son. Because we already have Lady Loki too. So this is Thor Odin's son shows up to get his evil sibling. That is what happens here. We can't see all. Oh, you're right. It's a little too zoomed in. Just fix that one. What messed it up? Anyway. Norse accurate Thor. Norse closer Thor. I'm not going to go so far as to say accurate, but probably a little bit closer. Is this cocky Thor or character arc Thor? I think a little bit more like, more Golden Boy Thor, right? Like, Thor actually, like, listened to Odin a little bit more, you know? This Thor never gets exiled, isn't super, like, more sort of blind follower of, yeah, stupidly noble kind of blind follower of Odin Thor. That kind of vibe. And then we can give him a character arc later if we want. So this is the aftermath of year 2, right? Thor is here now. People know that there's gods and cosmic nonsense going on. The Avengers are in a place where they have a little bit more public approval. Where do we go from here, right? Where do we go from here? For stone wielders, I don't think we need to worry about specific stone wielders yet, though we could. We could do like where the, I mean, do we want to do stones now? Feels a little early to do the stones, but we certainly could do the stones. Yeah, Amy's right. That is a lot of stones to have on Earth alone. If we want all the stones to be on Earth, we have to have a damn good reason for them to all be on Earth. We could. I mean, we're making this up. We can do whatever the heck we want. But we need a damn good reason for them to all be on Earth if they're all going to be on Earth. Also, the stones that we have are a little bit different. They don't all function. We have most of the same, but then we have some extras and some split ones. I don't think we're going to worry about stone bearers yet. Let's do a little bit of a sort of slide over and start talking about some magic characters. I know I sort of advertised this one as the Avengers one, but let's do a little bit of a slide here and start talking about some magic. So, who do we want to kick off our magic stuff? Someone suggested Doyle Dormammu as the first sorcerer we see. And I don't dislike that at all. I do think that's fun. Yeah, okay, but why is Doyle here? Also, I don't think it's acknowledged enough that Doyle and Clea are cousins. Like, that's weird. Has that ever really been acknowledged? That's actually kind of funny. Has that ever been acknowledged? I've never had that thought before, but Doyle, Dormammu, and Clea are cousins, like, biologically. That's wild. I've never had that thought before. That's so weird. Okay, and regardless, that's a thought for another time. No, it has not. Yeah, I'm really surprised that's not been we have to do something with that. We have to do something with the fact that Doyle and Clea are 100% like blood related, or whatever the Faltine have instead of blood related. That's crazy. There was a whole wedding recently and he was nowhere to be seen. Yeah, hold on, I gotta check something on my phone here. 7 emails. Why do I have 7 emails? Are these important emails? I'll check them later. But, that's so funny. Okay, so, I actually want to look up Doyle Dormammu because it's one thing that's been, Doyle's origin is really vague unless they've done anything new with it with Strange Academy, like really, really recently. Unless he was done super recent, like, he was born to a normal human woman. brain tumor, took him before Dormammu's, but yeah, like he is Dormammu's kid. But like it's very vague. So why? Because it can't be Strange Academy, right? This is a non-Strange Academy Doyle Dormammu. So he's not, dressing like this. He's dressing like baby Dormammu, like kind of like he does in the future Strange Academy stuff. By the way, this is going to be minor spoilers, but I do want to show. I mean, actually, I might be able to find a picture if there's a different universe. He looks really cool, and yeah, Future Strange Academy. Look at that. Look how cool he looks. Look how cool he looks. He's not centered on your screen at all. Hold on, I can get this better. Oh no, I 100% cannot. Well, let's do this. Look how cool he looks. Anyway, that's I didn't show that well at all. Whatever. I tried to show that I broke everything. Okay, there we go. We're good enough. So Doyle isn't evil enough, is sent to Earth to see how evil it is, and Strange makes. So the other thing that we have to acknowledge, we don't have to have the same Dormammu either. We can have a different Dormammu. He can be a different sort of guy. Dormammu can be bad, but it doesn't have to be the same sort of origin for Dormammu. So do we want to set him up as something different? Maybe Dormammu, true neutral Dormammu sounds fun. That also could be good. Do we want Dormammu to be looking for the stones for some reason? Or maybe even like a specific... Okay. Okay. Ooh. I know I'm like not talking, but hold on. I've got a weird idea here. But an idea that's fun, that's more interesting, right? What if this world, this version of the Marvel Universe is very devoid of magic, right? Maybe there can be some magic in the past with like gods and stuff, right? But like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, if not thousands of years ago, and there has not been any magic on this world for a very long time. We can come up with reasons why later. But like, it's like been locked out of magic. This year too, it's not just introducing magic to the readers. It is literally like Doctor Strange's Last Days of Magic style, reintroducing magic to this world entirely. So there's no like established ancient one. We are reintroducing magic to this world 100%. Doyle comes to Earth because Loki's intervention with stuff sort of reintroduced magic to the world, and Dormammu's like, that's weird. Doyle, go check it out. Go see what's going on down there. But you said Doom has magic. It's Doom, though. We can make Doom the exception. Doom can be the exception to whatever rule we want. You're right, I did say that. Doom can be an exception to whatever we want. Maybe Doom is like maybe Doom's why it's locked down. Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme and like locked... Yeah, that's actually great. In this universe, Doctor Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme and locked down magic to just himself. Locked down magic to just himself. No one else has magic. And then, Loki kind of reintroduces it to the world. Things start happening more. Yeah, neat. Very neat. All right, sweet. Okay. Doctor Doom locked down magic a while ago. Loki's screwing around with the Avengers, reintroduces it to the world. Dormammu notices this, sends Doyle to go check it out. So that's how Doyle gets here. Can you add Nico Minoru? Oh, I love Nico, so we'll definitely add her. But since we're starting with new magic, right? Since we're starting with new magic, we gotta start her later. Then we can have a magic renaissance. Yeah, magic renaissance. That kind of thing. That would be sick. All right, cool. So Doyle, actually, okay. There's an ad break that's supposedly going to start in a minute. So here's what I'm going to do to be smart about the ad break. We're going to keep talking I'm going to do my like typing of what we just said for the last 10 minutes during the ad break so you won't miss anything. That's also, yeah, that's smart. Okay. So why then does Doyle stick around, right? Do we want it to literally just be like Doyle doesn't really want to work with his, Oh, wait. Do we... It could be a bit that, like, Dormammu either doesn't want to go to Earth or literally cannot go to... Ooh. Okay. I've got an idea. I've got a cool idea. I'm going to start... Okay. I'm really like... See, this Magic Marvel's my area, so I love this. I love this. I've got a super cool idea on how to make this work. But I'm going to type up what we have while the ad break is running, which it's not running yet. Okay. This is a mini tangent rant here. The Twitch thing is now giving me, like, there's an ad break coming up in 60 seconds, but it's wrong. The ad's gonna start in, like, 10 seconds. My counter just said ad break starting. It's not started. It's gonna start in a bit. In, like, 10 to 20 seconds, this freaking ad is gonna start. And it's so hard for me to time this, because I don't want you guys to miss anything important, but the ad counter doesn't work. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna start typing. I'm not gonna say anything important during the ad. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, Doyle gets sent. Actually, wait. We'll start from the beginning. So, this world is very low magic because at some point in the past, Victor Von Doom locked it down. Loki's meddling. I still haven't gotten an ad from the last time we said. Yeah, it doesn't give them to everybody. Loki's meddling reintroduced. There it is. There's the ad. Ha ha! I knew it was coming. Reintroduced magic into the wider world. Dormammu senses this and sends Doyle down to Earth to check it out. Notably, Doom is a secret at this point to the readers. So Doyle is functionally the first magic character we see. And then in parentheses, other than Loki, I guess. First magic protagonist is maybe what I should have said. Carolina Cup, you got into a point that I actually... I've got an interesting idea here. But I'm going to... Oh, good. The ad break is done. Okay, cool. Sorry about the ad break weirdness. I did do as I promised, and during the ad break, I was just typing up stuff that we already said, so you didn't miss anything new. But here's what I'm thinking, right? So, Doctor Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme, right? But... because there hasn't been magic in a very, very long time, and everyone is scared of Doom, they don't really set, like, some of the magical defenses on Earth might have degraded a little bit in the time since Doom did all of his cool stuff. So, Dormammu wants to investigate why Earth has magic now, but doesn't want to go himself because he doesn't want to have to deal with Doom. So that's why he sends Doyle. Dormammu does not go. He sends Doyle as "quote unquote" expendable because he doesn't want to go himself because he doesn't want to deal with Doom. So that's why Doyle gets sent. Doyle decides to stick around. We can just have him be a kid. The Earth is better than the Dark Dimension. He doesn't want to deal with that, so he sticks around. And then Dormammu is pissed about this, but still can't go to Earth because Doom is warding him away. So, in an attempt to bring Doyle back, he sends another person to go get Doyle, that being Doyle's aunt, Clea. What do I think about that? Dormammu can't go to Earth, sends Doyle. Doyle doesn't come back. Dormammu goes, damn it, my stupid son is stupid. Clea, go get him. Good. Cool. Cool. Okay, so, Dormammu cannot go to Earth himself, due to... there's a billion reasons why he doesn't have to go to Earth himself. Can't go. He could have a deal with Doom. Doom is, like, warded against him specifically. There's a lot of reasons why. We don't really have to narrow that down. I'm just going to put due to Doom's influence, right? And that's why he sends Doyle. Doyle stays, though. Haha. And I'm writing it exactly like that. Pissed off Dormammu wants to go... I just realized I spelled this wrong earlier. Get him, but still can't. He sends Doyle's Aunt Clea. There we go. Okay, cool. So that is our introduction of two important magical characters to Earth. I think Dormammu. Oh, okay. What's Doyle's superhero name? Let's address this. We need a superhero name for Doyle. Doyle's cool, but I don't really want him to just be called Doyle. What are some names of Doctor Strange villains, right? I want to give him the name of a Doctor Strange villain. We need a more, not Antichrist. No. That's a no. No. I'm sorry. No. Just goes by Dormammu. No, I want it. Well, no, because here's the thing. Maybe it was jumping the gun a little bit. I think narratively and publication-wise, Doyle would have his own series. Doyle would be a new character. He would be the star. He would have a solo, right? Doyle has the first solo in year 2. The first new character with a solo in year 2. So what's his name? Okay, if I Google Doctor Strange villains, will the internet be helpful enough to give me a name or a list? Doctor Strange villains. Screen Rant, 15 most powerful Doctor Strange villains. Sure. I was hoping for a Wikipedia article or something a little bit more analytical, but we'll take this. Dracula. Not calling him Dracula. This is also not visible on your screens. What if I move it over there? Is that good? It's good enough. I don't really care if this is exactly framed properly. Well, and then I immediately broke it. Okay. I guess I apparently do care if it's framed properly. Good enough. Undying Ones. No. The Enchantress. No. Mordo. Nah. Despair. I don't hate, but probably not. Umar, no. These are see, the thing about Doctor Strange villains is many Doctor Strange villains are just like their names because they're like demons or magical entities or any, things like that. And I do want him to have a superhero name because he's gonna be like, even if that's not his quote unquote real name, I think we're gonna decide the plot of this Doyle arc in just a minute. But like, I think him becoming a superhero is important. Like, he becomes a classic super Dare Doyle. No, but funny. Not a strange villain, but what about Red Skull? No, we're not gonna name our protagonist after a Nazi. We're not gonna do that. Not gonna do that one. Okay. Oh, I've got a weird pull here. Is there going to be a list of okay. Dang, I was hoping I could find like a list of characters who were seen at the bar with no doors, I thought that could be helpful. No, Sorcerer Supremes. He's from the Dark Dimension. Name him Dweller in Darkness and then shorten it to Dweller later. Maybe. Sorcerer Supreme, Clea Strange. What other... I love Clea's old hair, man. Clea's old hair is not centered on your screen, but it's something. Okay. What are like Dark Dimension residents? Can I get like a Dark Dimension? It goes with the fact that his name is Doyle. I know. There's got to be a list of like Dark Dimension residents, right? There's gotta be. Oh, here we go. Residents: Faltine, Dormammu, Umar, Doyle, Dormammu. Demons of the Dark Dimension. Jack the Ripper. What? Who the heck is this? What is... Wait. Huh? Oh, that's handbook appearances. One minor appearance from Jack the Ripper, 616... Wait, then who... Okay, hold on. If he was in 1944, where did this image come from? Amazing X-Men... Okay, that's a tangent for later. That's a tangent for later. Got what? We can call him Gokug Chaka. I guess is how you pronounce that. Paradox, Demons of Dark. I feel like there's a really good name that's on the tip of my tongue that I'm not getting. Like, it's right there, and I'm just not getting it, and it's bugging me. I feel like there's a character. I'm like, this would be a good name for Dormammu, and I'm just totally blanking on it. Because I think this is one thing that people are missing in the chat. I want the name to be a Marvel character, right? Because the idea here is that we're trying to not make original characters, and yes, we're starting with Doyle, but the idea here is that this is not making original characters. This is doing Marvel stuff. So what if I look at like Midnight Suns rosters or something? That's a magical team. Midnight Suns Prime Marvel Universe members. Yeah, we're looking for names of established characters. Baron Skullfire. The heck is Baron Skullfire? Oh, one of the... Okay. I don't hate Skullfire. It's very edgy. Oh, wait! Hellstorm! That's who I was... Hellstorm! Because it's still, Damon Hellstorm's son of Satan, Doyle's son of Dormammu. Hellstorm. Just do Hellstorm. Doyle Dormammu is Hellstorm. Yeah, that says Hellstorm. Yeah. His name is Damon Hellstrom, and his superhero name is Hellstorm, but sometimes they also just call him Hellstorm. It's stupid. Hellstorm is his superhero name. That makes sense. Because that's, again, the idea here is that we want to carry like the same vibes and tones from the main Marvel universe. So Hellstorm is the son of big scary evil demon guy. That's the important part of Hellstorm. So Doyle can be Hellstorm. Sweet. Awesome. Love that. Magic Heroes. Hellstorm is Doyle Dormammu. So yeah, that makes sense. I think that was what I was thinking of. I was like, I know there's a character that's like so good and so fitting. I just can't get there, and I got there. Good for me. So now the question is, we're doing Hellstorm solo series for Doyle, right? Hellstorm solo series is going to kick off sort of Magic Year 2. Who's he fighting? I don't think he fights Doom right off the bat, right? I don't think Doom is the first thing. So basically, some sort of consequence of Loki's magical meddling on Earth needs to set off some sort of magic villain for Hellstorm to fight. Who do we want that to be? And again, we can change it as much as we want. In fact, we should change it. It's not supposed to be just ripping somebody else. We're supposed to change something else. What if he fights Strange? That's a little too on the nose, I think. I think having it be Strange versus... Like, we do want to carry the original vibes. We already kind of did the, like, Avengers are... there are Avengers that are on the bad guy team. We already kind of did that. The Pride and the Runaways. I don't want to do a team. That's another important thing. I don't want to do a team because we kind of started with Team v Team, right? We need to do some contrast here. So I want this to be a singular villain for him to fight first, not a team, because we already did that. Magic would be cool, but she also operates in that mutant space that I want to wait for Nikhil for. Mr. Misery, but instead of the consequences of magic, it's the consequences of no magic. Interesting. Might rip a little too much from Strange Academy. Wakandan Sanctum. Oh, a Sanctum in Wakanda is a good idea. I just think right now there's going to be one Sanctum, right? Right now there's one Sanctum and it's in Latveria because it's Doom's. In a Magic expansion, that could definitely happen. The Hood. Oh, the Hood actually makes some level of sense. The Hood actually does make logical sense. Because the Hood got something... okay. The Hood being somebody who, again, just sort of like picked up something from the after... Ooh. I have an interesting idea. Because this doesn't have to be a magical character, by the way. This can be another character that we make magic. What if we did... One thing that we've been doing a lot in this that I like is we've been taking bits of MCU plots and putting them into the more comics-based, wider world, right? Like, we're definitely going to do the, like, Yondu, but it's actually Rocket comes to pick up Quill. We're doing Mysterio, a little bit more characterized like the Far From Home version. What if we pull a Spider-Man Homecoming? What if we pull a Spider-Man Homecoming and have Vulture pick up, do what he did in Spider-Man, the movie, pick up crap from the fight, but like magic, and we kind of blend Vulture and the Hood. This character being a combination of Vulture and Hood. What do you think about that? That would be interesting. Now, funny enough, this would end up sort of similar to Panda's character from the a more competent version of Panda's character from the one shot we did, but I'm not going to call him that because we're not doing new characters. But I like that idea of like a magic Vulture that is a sort of narrative combination of Vulture and Hood. So, question then becomes, what does he pick up? Right? What does he pick up that gives him some level of magical power, This also makes sense narratively because if Doyle's job is to track down what caused sort of a magical spark on Earth, he tracks down the people that got involved, so that makes sense. What if Vulture got the Infinity Stone? The thing is, the Infinity Stone we have is the Life Stone. And I don't think Vulture having the Life Stone makes a lot of sense. He picks up the Hood, but the Hood, is it like Loki's cape or something, Because it has to be something different. It has to be distinct. It has to be distinct enough. But what, it could just be like Loki's cape or something. But then what gives him, okay. Once again, I feel like it's right there, and my mind is putting together the puzzle pieces sort of psychically. The Sentry's cape, yeah, it would be something along those lines. But then he would need more than that, right? Oh. Okay. I have an interesting idea. And I don't think this is done. This is not fully fleshed out yet, but give me your thoughts on this, right? Magic is not gone, right, from this world. Doom is not strong enough to eliminate magic from Earth, but he locks it down, right? That's why I typed it down as locked it down, right? He hides it, safeguards it, keeps people from getting it. Loki's cape or whatever is illusion magic based, right? Can Loki's, well, no, I don't love that. Cloak of Levitation. Cloak of Levitation because then it's Vulture. Yeah, Cloak of Levitation because then it's the Hood and the Vulture. That's simple enough. Okay, but then that doesn't really fit Loki's vibe. But yeah, it being the Cloak of Levitation does make logical sense. Expand into Limbo and have Mephisto drop the Hood in this universe because he catches Loki using Limbo to bounce around. I feel like that's a big jump. I don't hate it. It just feels like a very big jump. But yeah, the Hood with the Cloak of Levitation, Hood Vulture combo with the Cloak of Levitation makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna type that in. The Hood, Adrian Toomes with Cloak of Levitation. But then where... Yeah, if he wears the Cloak of Sentry, it works as a drop. Yeah, it could literally... Yeah, because that makes sense, because Loki can't fly normally, but both Mysterio and Sentry would need to fly. P.S. Big Vic, thank you for the sub. Yeah, so it can just be the Cloak... Yeah, it's just the Cloak of Levitation that Loki uses to fly. The thing is, he definitely needs more than just flying, right? He would not be a threat to Doyle, Dormammu, Hellstorm if he could just fly. He needs more than that. So he starts with flying. What else does he get? That's the question. Because there can be some time between this, right? This is not like a Doyle shows up like the day after the attack. There's some time. What does he get? And we have to have a reason for why he gets it, right? Because a lot of people are saying Nico's staff. That's a big thing to just drop. That's connected to the blood. Like, the staff is such an iconically Nico Minoru thing, you know? I don't want to just give it to somebody else. Gauntlets with illusion stuff from Mysterio. Mysterio's fishbowl helmet. Well, I don't want to make him just Mysterio, you know? I don't want to make him just Mysterio. But let's see. What other type of things could he grab from... What magical things could be around that would have flown under Doom's radar or been accessible? Because it can't be strong stuff, right? It can't be strong stuff. The Gauntlet Strange and Ned used to open portals in No Way Home. Like a sling ring? But the thing is, it can't just be... I should be more specific in my phrasing here, right? I should be more specific in my phrasing. I don't just need what he finds. The thing that I'm trying to come up with that's more effective is why does he find it, right? That's what I actually need. I don't just need an item. I know the items. I need why does he find it? What does Loki's invasion of what does Loki's meddling in the affairs of the superheroes do that reveals more magical items for Vulture to find? Right? Something like that. Okay. Because I don't want it to just be he picks up tech from Loki, right? I don't want it to just be he picks up tech from Loki. He picks up the cloak from Loki. That's fine. But then he needs to go somewhere else, and then he needs to go do something else. Reawakens latent magic artifacts. I mean, yeah, but again, we need more than that. We need more than just that. What other characters do we have set up, right? We do have Danny Rand. Danny Rand, though not a magical character in this universe, does have magical connections, right? He does have magical connections. Abandoned Sanctums Doom had shut down. What other magic stuff is in like New York City in Marvel? What other magic is in New York City? There's like the Shrouded Bazaar. That's super obscure. I mean, I've used it before. I could use it again. But I think that's too big of a concept. There's... Let's see. Oh, thank you for the sub. Rage Lightning. Loki empowers a bunch of magic items, leaves around the city for people to find a couple months. Yeah, that is possible. Amy says, yeah, yes, Amy counts. Spirit of Vengeance. Once again, I feel like there's something that's... This is my area. I feel like there's something that's on the tip of my tongue that I'm totally missing. So then what would he find? What would he grab? Non-mutant witch Aurora. Well, no, because we're starting out... The thing is, it has to be old magic. Or new magic, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be old. it can be something newly created. The Life Stone is what was used to make all of Jackal's mutants, right? That is what was used to make the mutants. What else could that have done in New York City that could mess with stuff? There's energies from the Life Stone. There's like weird deviant magic flying everywhere. I'm trying to think through like the mechanics of a city being invaded by magic, like magically enhanced sort of celestial monsters. What could happen in that time that would cause them? Maybe this is too big of a cut. I like this idea, but this is a hard thing to say. Some force of wild magic giving something to try to undo Doom's hold somehow. Ooh. I just got a really weird idea. Oh, I just got a really weird idea. From a very specific place. There is a line in freaking Avengers Infinity War. You know the scene where Ebony Maw is like attacking Strange, he's trying to get the Time Stone? And in that scene, Strange says, I don't remember the exact line, but it's something along the lines of like, you'll find a dead man's spell to be quite unbreakable. What if the way that Doom locked down people in the past is he had his acolytes around the world at like other sanctums do like a magical lockdown spell and then killed them so that their spell would stay? The Life Stone brought the guy who was in charge of that for New York back to life and messed up his ward. What do we think about that? I think that's interesting. I think that's really cool. Okay, so yeah, the way that Doom locked down magic was he had his acolytes around the world, like, and that also sets Doom up as a really interesting villain too, because like, you know, because the acolytes didn't know that was going to be happening too, because that could be a character, that can be another character. That's freaking Strange. Yes, that's Strange. Stephen Strange was like an old sorcerer who was in charge of New York City. Doom had him appointed to do the lockdown spell, then killed him, and the Life Stone brings him back to life, which fucks up the ward. Oh, that's so good. Okay, cool. I like this. Okay, I'm gonna write this down before I forget. So, the way Doom locked down magic so long ago was by having his acolytes cast strong but temporary warding spells and then killing them in such a way that the spell stuck, basically. The spell stuck. Strange was an ancient sorcerer who did this in, I guess, what would become NYC. The energy from the Life Stone released by Jackal brings Strange back to life in the modern day, breaking his ward on the region. That's why magic is coming back there. Cool. Love this. That's maybe one of my favorite bits I've come up with in this whole thing. That's cool as hell. So then the hood can just hood of levitation and other crap stolen from the sanctum, right? Maybe the reasoning for this, and this is so specific I don't even have to write this down, but like when Strange comes back, he's like disoriented for a bit, like his memory takes longer to come back, and so he like kind of amnesiac confused Strange wanders out of the sanctum, leaves it undefended for a bit. When that happens, Vulture Hood swoops in, grabs the stuff, and leaves while the sanctum is undefended. And then Doyle goes down to fight him, figures out, like, hey, you stole all this from the sanctum. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, this is... Okay, I'm writing this down. I lied. So, revived Strange doesn't have memories restored yet. Leaves the sanctum unguarded. Hood swoops in, steals some stuff, fights Dormammu. Then the sort of second arc of... Well, it's not really Dormammu. I guess I should write Hellstorm, huh? Fights Hellstorm. Second arc of Hellstorm is Doyle looking for Strange, right? So after Hellstorm defeats the Hood, he's like, well, you have all this stuff that came from this magic place. No way this is supposed to be unguarded. We gotta find the guy who's in charge of it. And that is the second arc, is Doyle looking for the revived Strange. Interesting. Cool. I really, 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 really like this. So I guess Magic Marvel's my area, so this is super cool. A lot of people have been saying Spirit of Vengeance Strange. I'm not against that yet, but I'm not going to write that in at the moment. But this is super cool. This also sets up for some other weird cosmic stuff that we'll get to revisiting later. Doom does kind of need to like live for a really long time, so this sets up Doom as like functionally immortal. Okay, I love this. So this is super cool. Yeah, this is good. And then also Clea can come looking for Doyle during the looking for Strange arc, and that can set up them getting together if we want to have that being a thing. Cool. Love that. It also it's you could do a fun, because again, we want to pull things from the Marvel universe in here, right? Like we want to pull vibes and elements and not plot lines directly, but similar plot lines, and this is pulling off Death of Doctor Strange, right? That's good. This is good. I like this a lot. So because we have the Dark Avengers Siege arc that we pull off of. We have Death of Doctor Strange that we pulled from. Like, this is fun. Okay, this is very cool. A lot of people are saying Marvel Zombies too. I don't love Marvel Zombies, so I'm not super inclined to put that in here, at least not yet, but... Okay, cool. The Lifestone attack being just NYC can also be used to have NYC-centered magic. Yes, exactly that. This is one of my favorite stream ideas. No, this is super fun. I really like doing this. If anyone knows anybody that works at Marvel, send them this and the other one. Probably this, because this one's better than the other one. This is awesome, though. This is fantastic. So, okay, now what do we even need to do? Like, funny enough, we're kind of at, like, a decent stopping point, but I want to go for at least 3 hours. I love crowdsource writing stuff like this. Yeah, it's fun, because I get to bounce ideas off people. Very easily. Spirit of Vengeance Aunt May is a wild pitch that I don't hate, but again, we're going to cover that when we cover Spider-Man. Marvel Zombies was about a fight against inevitability, and in the end, all of them die and become zombies. Yeah, I don't really want to put Marvel Zombies in the main universe. Okay, so, let's see. Clea can probably largely stay the same. It's just probably like a more intense Clea, because this is a Clea that did not meet Strange when she was younger. Or, if we wanted to go real funky, maybe she did meet Strange when she was younger. It's just that was a very, 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 very long time ago. In fact, that actually could be cool. That actually, and hold on. I've changed my mind. Clea does definitely know Strange, and that's why that's the thing that like convinces her to not go back to Dormammu. She comes to Earth to get Doyle, and Doyle's like, "I'm sorry, I can't go back. I have to find this dude." And Clea's like, fine. We'll go look for him so that I can get... Yeah, okay, that's great. Doyle wants to finish what he started. Doyle wants to find Strange, get this magic stuff locked down so that everything doesn't go to shit the second he leaves. Clea comes from Dormammu to get him and is like, okay, fine. If you're so set on doing this, we'll do this. We'll find your mysterious wizard man. Then you're coming back home. They find the mysterious wizard man. Surprise, surprise. It's Clea's thousands of year old ex-boyfriend who disappeared and she had no idea where he went. How do we like that? How do we like that? I think that, and that's what convinces Clea to be like, all right, maybe screw Dormammu. Cool. I'm writing that down. Okay. So Doyle wants to finish. I'm gonna basically just type down what I just said. What he started. Doesn't want to go back to Dormammu. And wants to find missing wizard instead. Clea, who was sent to get him, basically says, fine, if you're so set on this, we'll find your stupid wizard and then go home. Then, when they find him, surprise, surprise, it's Clea's ex from 1,000 years ago, or whatever. Not a hard timeline. I'm just typing this in my rough notes. 1,000 years ago, who disappeared. And this is what convinces Clea to also abandon Dormammu. Great. Love it. Super cool. Super cool. I love your thinking, even though I don't understand or agree. You make good storylines. Hey, thank you. That's a big compliment, actually. Yeah, memory restored Strange, Hellstorm, and Clea make the Midnight Suns made up of people connected to reawakening magic. Yeah, then they set up the Midnight Suns. Solid. Yeah, that's super cool. All right, and then they can make the Midnight Suns. Fan-freaking-tastic. I love this. This is really cool, man. Marvel, hire me. I'll write this for you. Just for fun. We can do an Earth X mini-series type beat. Could we add Hiram Shaw as another... I'm going to have to Google that one, to be honest with you. That's not a name that immediately... okay. There's I'm the one thing that I'm not good at remembering in Marvel is characters who just have normal names instead of code names. If a character has a normal civilian name and that's like their name and they don't have a superhero code name, I cannot remember them to save my life. I get the method Doom used to lock down magic, but how did he get that far back in time? Oh, I think Doom is just old. I think Doom is just really old and like is using the magic that he still has to keep himself alive. Doom is not a time traveler at this point. Because for those who don't or didn't watch episode 1, I'm not going to go through and do like a whole description because it would take a while. But basically, one of Doom's plans is he wants to go back to the beginning of time. This actually makes a lot of sense for that because Doom is this old sorcerer from a couple thousand years ago who locked down all magic. And he's like, this is cool. It's been great for me since I locked down magic. I want to go and do that again, but earlier, so that I'm even stronger. That's his motive now, is that he wants to go back and do the same thing that he did, but earlier. Doom has the Death Stone. I feel like that's actually pretty possible. That's pretty possible. Hiram Shaw was in one issue in 1999. He was a magic character in an X-Men book. What a weird pull. What a weird pull. Okay, so here's an important question. Also, there's going to be an ad break that tells me it's going to start in 10 seconds, which means it's going to start in like 70 seconds. But we're not going to do this when we're on an ad break. But here's what I'm wondering right now. A lot of people have been saying Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch technically is connected to mutant stuff, which we're not doing yet because I want Nikhil's input. Do we want to say fuck that and just make her a magic character? Because she is basically a magic character right now. But her origin is connected to mutant stuff. But we could change that. We could just use her more modern origin. What do we want to do with Scarlet Witch? Do we want to leave her with the X-Men, or do we want to just take that out and be like, Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver can be another thing? Heck, we can make Quicksilver a time guy. Like, we have some time travel stuff. Quicksilver has, like, time manipulation. That's why he has super speed. Like, we don't have to connect to that. Someone says, wait for Nikhil. And someone says, do we need Wanda at all? Which is going to get you yelled at. Okay. This is, yeah, please have Wanda and Pietro be Magneto's kids. I'll wait for Nikhil. I'll wait for Nikhil. Okay, hold on. I gotta respond to a message really quick, but I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna respond to the message when we're in an ad now. Wonderful timing. Okay. We're not gonna worry about Scarlet Witch yet. We may or may not have her more connected to the mutant side of things or to the magic side of things. We'll decide when we get there, but we're not going to get there until Nikhil is here. That's my executive decision as, the person who is in charge of things. Cherry, I'm waiting I was DMing you in the ad. Don't worry about it. No ad. There's not an ad for everybody. There's not ads for everybody. They hit random people. But there is an ad break going on right now for like 20 more seconds. So, if not Scarlet Witch, what else do we want? So, what is Strange doing? Ooh. I have an idea. Okay, I got an idea. Luna, I know you said Demogoblin Ned Leeds. That's an interesting idea, but it's not. I got an interesting pitch here. So, what if we have this plot of the second arc of like, it's Doyle and Clea looking for Strange, but that's super vague. So, here's my pitch for what the second arc of Hellstorm is actually about. Right? Strange knows somebody kills him. Right? Strange, even without, not Spirit Avenger stuff, but like even without memories, exactly, Strange does know that he was killed by somebody. And he knows that he was betrayed, right? He knows that whatever Operation Doom was organizing, someone in that operation betrayed him. But he doesn't think it's Doom. He doesn't think that, his Doyle Dormammu's Bizarre Adventures, but it's magic. I'm actually kind of getting to something that is a little bit like Stardust Crusaders. But let me explain. Strange knows that he was betrayed, doesn't think it's Doom, right? He doesn't talk about his leader. We don't know that his leader was Doom yet. He just as readers, we don't know that his leader is Doom yet. But in universe, he doesn't think it was Doom. He doesn't think it was his leader. So Strange, without his full memory, is trying to figure out which of the other, like, Sanctum Masters betrayed him. And so he's going around to all the Sanctums around the world. And that is what the second arc is. It is a sort of Stardust Crusaders-esque chase of Clea and Doyle chasing Strange around the world as he's going to all the Sanctums. And it's kind of like a mystery of like which one did it. And then at the end it's like, oh, it wasn't any of them. It was Like, this was not a betrayal. This was always the plan going down from Doom. And this is where we actually get to see Doom for the first time in universe. Right? Right? How do we think? What do we think about that? Second arc is like a sort of mystery race around the world, trying to figure out which one of Strange's colleagues betrayed him, and it was actually just Doom the whole time. I like that. I'm writing it down. Okay. This is what convinces Clay to have been North. So, what if this is how Brother Voodoo is introduced? Yeah, we can have anybody be the other Sanctum keepers. We don't even have to worry about it too much right now. But this is also like as he's doing this, magic is also like reactivating in other places. That would be the other, is, you know, magic is just a New York City thing in the first arc, and then the second arc is like when Strange is going around, he's reactivating magic everywhere, and that's kind of a problem. Cool. Okay, so how was the Wakanda Sanctum spared? I never said it was going to be spared. I said there was going to be a Wakanda Sanctum because that's interesting. I never said spared. Anyway, so Strange. I'll call him Amnesia Strange. Amnesia Strange knows he was killed, thinks he was betrayed, goes around to all the other sanctums, to try and find out who did it. Kinda reactivates magic along the way. Doyle and Clea chase him all over the world. Big reveal at the end is that it was not sabotage. The murders were always the plan, coming down from the top. Doom. This is the first we see, or I guess hear, of Doom. Yeah, see or hear of Doom in this universe. I'm just gonna say version. Cool. Like that. Captain Britain's Sanctum makes sense. Captain Britain is also a little bit, that's like a little bit more X-Men, weirdly. Dude, Excalibur's so weird. I was reading some other, I was looking through some Excalibur stuff from my Mad Jim Jaspers video. Boy. Old, like, is it 80s or 90s? 80s, 90s Excalibur, maybe even like late 70s. I don't know. It's something, man. And it's, the something is, I think I've joked about this before, but when I joke about it, it's very true. Old Excalibur, like, the writer, I don't know who did it. I could find out very easily, but I don't want to because of what I'm about to say. They had some interests that they snuck into Old Excalibur very not subtly. That's all I'm going to say about that. 80s Excalibur is, it's not horny, but it does things that, like, are very clear. I'm just going to stop. You all know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, don't worry about it. Okay. So, isn't that the one where Joy Boy comes from? Yes. Writer is Chris Claremont. No, yeah. That was Chris Claremont? Really? Well, good for Chris Claremont, I guess. You have your fun with... there's probably children watching. I'm not going to go into detail, but it's something that he does a lot that Chris Claremont definitely has a very strong interest in. Anyway, what other? So we have the first two arcs of magic stuff. Egypt Sanctum run by Moon Knight. Yeah, let's do some sanctums. Let's do some sanctums here. So sanctums. NYC Strange. Or it wouldn't actually be NYC, you know, functionally it would be like you know, the North American Sanctum or whatever. But like it would, you know, NYC Strange. And then how do I make it? There we go. Wakanda. Who do we want it to be Storm? I know I'm saying not mutants, but like what magical Wakanda characters could have this sanctum in the past? Again, these are all people that existed a very long time ago. T'Challa, but super old. Well, at that point, it would probably just be like an ancestor of T'Challa. There are names for the older Panthers, and to be honest, I know T'Challa and T'Chaka, and I do not remember the older ones. Witch Aurora with no mutation. Storm isn't a mutant in this, but an early Infinity Stone user. There is an Infinity Stone that would work with Storm's power set. The Matter Stone kind of works, though the name would need to be changed. But I'm gonna put Aurora. We can change it later if we want to. It's Latveria. I'm writing down, and then this is like the Master Sanctum. This is the hub, right? Doom. I'm gonna put in charge. I'll put Sorcerer Supreme. I should be more specific than just in charge. Doom is the Sorcerer Supreme of this world. Supreme. I can never. There we go. Someone pitched another one. I don't remember what it was. Is Storm Wakandan? Storm is not Wakandan directly, but she has Wakandan connections. And I think it would be interesting enough if we did that, you know? There was another one. Oh, Egyptian Sanctum, run by Moon Knight. An Egypt one for sure. I think, because we got to think about these geographically, right? And there could be more. So we have, like North America, right? We can cover North America, or like at least the top part of North America. We have Central Europe in Latveria. Wakanda, I believe, is more towards the south of Africa. I think it's like central to South Africa. So Wakanda could cover central to South Africa. Egypt could cover like North Africa and the Middle East. They can cover that. A Central American one could be good. What other region? So we need Asian Sanctum, Central American Sanctum, South American Sanctum, Australian Sanctum probably. Not all these necessarily have to like matter because I know this is a lot, but probably 2 Asian Sanctums because Asia is the biggest continent. We definitely need more than one. Yeah, Kunlun by the actual Iron Fist makes sense. I think there's a way that's supposed to be like denoted. I don't really care. Where is Kunlun? Actually, I'm going to look that up because I don't know where Kunlun is. I know it's in Asia, but I don't know what Asia's huge. Is it South Asia, North Asia, Central Asia? Oh, it's okay. I'm going to, since I was already looking it up, fix that. It's located in a pocket dimension, okay? It's located in the Kunlun Mountains. Is that real? The mountains run from Tajikistan into China. Let's say it's in China. It just, okay. According to the Marvel Wiki, okay, Gateway is in China. All right, cool. Gateway, so it would be the Chinese Sanctum. I'll put in China. It would, what the heck did I just do? It would be functionally the Chinese Sanctum. So we would need probably another Asian one, maybe one in like India or either India or like super north, like Russia. I thought Kun Lunch. Where are you getting magic characters for each continent? We can move them around a little bit because a lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people often ask me, are they like, is there a superhero from like this country? They're like, my home country? And it's really awkward because a lot of times the answer is no. Just because like Marvel, that's not a problem. Like Marvel's an American company. Obviously the majority of their characters are going to be American. Like I don't think that's a problem. But like a lot of the time the answer is going to be no. Where's Latveria? Latveria is Central Europe. I don't know exactly where it is, but also like Europe is Europe the smallest continent? Just thinking about a map, it's got to be. So we can have one for Europe. Maybe one for Captain Britain if we're feeling funky later. One in Australia run by Gateway. No, that's cool. That's a good idea. Yeah. I'm just gonna put Australia because I don't know where it would be. Australia's Australia is the only continent that's also a country, so that actually does make sense because I've been doing it countries for the other. Yeah, Gateway, that makes sense. Because Gateway's a mutant, but also he's just like a magic guy, so that fits. Europe is the smallest inhabited one. Antarctica is the smallest. And Antarctica in this world already a separate thing. So we don't have to, because Antarctica is savage land nonsense. We don't need we don't need a sanctum there. An eighth sanctum treating Atlantis as an eighth continent to match up with your Octessence idea from episode 1. I mean, do we want to just say that there are 8 sanctums for the 8 Infinity Stones, and for some reason the 8 Infinity Stones are all on Earth? We would have to come up with a reason for the 8 Infinity Stones to be all on Earth, but it would be pretty easy to say 8 sanctums, 8 stones, and then we can tie the Infinity Stones into Earth stuff. That's a little silly. Well, yeah. The problem here is I want to do something that is where there's sanctums for each region of the world, but I also don't want there to be a billion of them, right? I don't want them to be a billion of them. The Infinity Stones being on Earth doesn't give much potential. To start, they would go somewhere else, but I don't, like, there would have to be a reason. There would have to be a reason. So then... Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Or it could just be that they're 8, like, mimicking the 8 coincidentally. Maybe the sanctums around. There's so many. It's hard to do, like, the thing that we have to accept here is that not all the sanctums are going to matter. Not all the sanctums are going to matter in this arc, because if this is an arc of Hellstorm, it's 6 issues. We're not even going to go to all 6 sanctums that we have written down here now. Not all the sanctums are going to necessarily matter in this, or at least not be like show up on panel, right? So we could actually do kind of just as many as we want here. NYC, Wakanda, Latveria, Egypt, Kunlun, Australia. Yeah, we need a South American one. Basically, we need at least 7, because I want at least 1 on every continent. That does make sense. Though, I guess Antarctica doesn't need one. So, NYC for North America, Wakanda for Europe. No, I'm sorry. I was looking at Latveria, and NYC for North America, Latveria for Europe, Wakanda... like Wakanda for Africa. Maybe we cut the Egypt one. Maybe we cut the Egypt one and just make it one for each continent and not worry about Moon Knight in this case. So we have our Europe, our Africa, our North America, our China, or it's Asia, and then we have Australia. So we would just need a South American one. We could pull from the MCU again and do Atlantis, Central South America, if we want to make it something important. Because, like, Luna will know this. Luna, South America, there's not too much Marvel stuff that goes down in South America. Like, the first South American character that jumps to mind is, like, Diablo. And that's not really... cutting the Egypt one gives you the ability to keep Mark in the US. Oh, I wasn't going to make Mark the Sanctum holder. I was going to connect it, but I wasn't going to make Mark the guy. No, and I hate it. Yeah, I was like, I really don't know that much, like, I really don't know that much South American stuff that goes down in Marvel. Brazil has a total of 3 actual characters. Yeah. Okay. You're right. Asia is huge. We could pull a Genshin Impact and split it up into, like, North Asia and South Asia, and do like one in China, like one in India or close. I think Amy said Pakistan, right? We make Kamala Khan the Sanctum Bearer and piss off everyone. White Tiger is South America. Well, yeah, but I mean like literally from South America. I don't mean South American like heritage. I mean a character that like operates from South America, because Diablo is from there straight up. But I don't believe White Tiger, at least the later White Tigers, are not literally from South America. I could be wrong. Man-Thing we could have Man-Thing be I don't hate that. I don't hate that. Amazon Rainforest Man-Thing Sanctum? That's funky. What do we think about that? I don't hate that. And then yeah, we can have a. I'll go ahead and put one in Pakistan. I don't know if there's no. There is. The amulet, the like owl wizard or something, like red owl or something. That's a thing from, I believe, Pakistan. That is it's from an area around there. Don't hate it either. All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do Amazon rainforest, man thing. And then Pakistan. What's the guy? I'm gonna look it up because I know there's a guy. If I could look up amulet. Okay. Red Owl. Yeah, that's the guy. Where is he from? Oh, he's in Iraq. That's close enough geographically. That is fine. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to change that. We're going to make this based on Amulet, the Miss Marvel character. He had like an ancient ancestor who was a wizard guy, and it can literally just be him. It can just be Red Owl. Okay, cool. So that's where the sanctums are. One for every continent, but we're going to swap out Antarctica because that's a different thing, and we're going to replace it with a South Asian to Middle East. South Asian to Middle East. Okay, cool. Gateway's fine. Red Elves, because again, these have to be all like older sorcerers too. Older Iron. I'm gonna say like previous Iron Fist. Or not even previous, like a former Iron Fist. Okay, we're in an ad right now, but I'll recap this when we're done with this. Okay, sweet. Also, we're almost done, by the way. I'll have to say that, but like we're at 2 hours 53 minutes. I got a couple minutes of announcements to do, but this is good. I really like where we're going from here. We'll go over the sanctums, and not all of them are necessarily going to matter in this arc. We don't have to decide which ones would and which ones wouldn't right now. That's more specific. We're not writing issue to issue right now. We're doing an overarching, like a show Bible thing. Okay, ads done. So, 7 sanctums. Almost one for each continent, but we are swapping Antarctica for a South Asian one, South Asia, Middle East, like lower Asia. NYC has the North American Sanctum, or I guess it at the time would have been what was NYC, because this is an ancient thing. All these sorcerers are ancient people. Alex, I'll get to that in just a second. So Wakanda has a sanctum, and theirs is Aurora, Storm. Latveria has like the main sanctum, Doom, who's the Sorcerer Supreme. Kunlun is in China, or the entrance to Kunlun is in China, but the sanctum is in Kunlun. Or maybe like the sanctum is the entrance, something like that. I believe their Sanctum Master would be an Iron Fist. It would not be the current Iron Fist. It would be someone who held it in the past and has lost the power since. Australia has Gateway. Notably, Alex, you said Gateway is the old leader and the new one is Manifold. We're working with the old leaders right now. These are the ones that were killed and by Doom to lock down magic. So Gateway was that one. In Iraq, we have Red Owl, who is a more obscure character from the Miss Marvel mythos. And then in Amazon Rainforest, we have Man-Thing. Sick. All right, I like that. 7 is a manageable amount. We know how Strange came back. How the hell did the others come back? I don't think necessarily all of them are going to come back. I think Strange probably is the one that is doing it. Maybe Strange ends up with the Life Stone. We never actually established where the Life Stone went after Loki gave it to Jackal. Maybe Strange ends up with it and is running around using it to bring these other people back. It's as simple as that. I know that's like vague and kind of hand-wavy, but that is the type of vague hand-wavy that would be very easy to write a convincing and believable explanation for, so it's acceptable for now. It's acceptable for now. I like the idea that he became Man-Thing after Doom killed him. That's not a horrible idea. Vulture doesn't have the stone. Vulture doesn't have the stone. Vulture has other crap. Vulture has other magic things. He never gets the stone. Actually, maybe that could be Vulture has the stone, doesn't know how to use it or something, and like, well, no, we don't have to worry about that. Again, this is a very vague overview. We can be a little bit hand wavy. I think Amy's saying my name. What's your idea, Amy? I was gonna say I think we're basically done for the day, but what is your idea? And then I'm gonna do a recap of what we did today. Make Nuwa the former Iron Fist, like the I don't actually the god. Is Nuwa a god or just like a legendary figure? That's an interesting idea. I'll write that down. Okay, so here's what we've done today. We're going to do a little bit of a recap of what we've done today. I labeled this one Avengers, but then it kind of became Magic, but I'm happy with that. So, what we did today is we finished up the the Spectacular 6 roster. We sort of fleshed them out a little bit more. We finished up our Avengers roster. We added Danny Rand Iron Man, not Iron Fist. He fails the dragon test, gets bitter about it, and then uses his money to make an Iron Man suit. We added Groot, who is an alien who is on Earth, who has come to look for a rocket. We're going to deal with why Rocket's on Earth later, but just know right now that he is on Earth, and Groot has come to search for him. Groot, because he's a helpful guy, decides to help out the Avengers. Everyone thinks he's one of Jackal's mutant monsters, and he can't correct them and doesn't want to bother to put in the effort to correct them. He's just fine with it. So he's revealed as an alien later. We set him up as just a monster, and then we reveal he's an alien later. Sentry should be last. Bucky Barnes is an old experiment using some deviant tech from decades past. Doc Ock, in his research, unearths him, goes and gets him, recruits him for the Avengers. And then Sentry shows up. Sentry is also Loki, specifically Lady Loki, secretly, who is playing both sides of this conflict just because they're bored. They're Mysterio and Loki. They're Mysterio and Loki and Sentry, whatever. At some point, though, these three factors settle into a pattern where everything is at least decently handled. The Spectacular Six are handling bigger threats. The Avengers are handling Jackal's weird guys, and then Jackal's just kind of doing nonsense because he really cares more about science than supervillainy. Loki decides to stir the pot because they are bored with how things are getting. Gives Jackal the Life Stone, which Jackal uses to amplify his creations, leading to the first big event, which is currently unnamed, but I'll come up with something, which is the Spectacular Six and the Avengers fighting each other and fighting Jackal's monsters. That is the big end of year one here. At the end of year one, the aftermath, Loki gets revealed. This deals a big blow to the PR of the Six. It does not destroy them, but it makes them, more controversial. This also legitimizes the Avengers in the process. Loki doesn't get caught, vanishes. Thor shows up, gets invited to the Six, says hell no, and remains independent. I know we kind of dropped Thor and then didn't talk about him. That's because I think Thor would be playing more in the Avengers and Spectacular Six place, right? The rest of this episode was talking about magic stuff. So, Thor is a character in the next Avengers arc. So we'll come back to that later, but that's not what we're talking about now. Then we pivoted to the big overarching theme of year two, which is the introduction of magic characters into this world. So we established that at some point in the past, this would be secret to the readers, Victor Von Doom, Sorcerer Supreme, locked down magic. This was, thousands of years ago. There was magic before then Dr. Doom locked it down, so it's a very low magic world from there on. The way that he did this was he had his acolytes in sanctums across the world cast this very powerful but very temporary spell to ward magic in the area, and then killed them all, playing off the line in Infinity War where Strange says a dead man's spell is quite unbreakable. So Doom kills them all to keep the magic lockdown spell more permanent so that he can have magic just to himself. However, one of the sanctums, the sanctum run by an ancient sorcerer named Strange, was in NYC, and when Jackal starts fucking around with the Life Stone, he accidentally revives Strange, which ends the spell. So the aftermath of the big monster attack revives Strange, ends the warding spell, starts to reactivate weird magical elements around NYC. Dormammu, off out in the Dark Dimension, notices this. Dormammu has had interactions with Doom in the past, does not want to go to Earth again, and is worried about Doom, so he sends his son, Doyle Dormammu, to Earth to go investigate why magic is starting to pop up there again. Doyle kind of likes it, becomes a superhero in his own right, named Hellstorm. He's our Hellstorm in this world. fights the Hood, Adrian Toomes. Yes, we made Vulture the Hood. Kind of used the Spider-Man Homecoming stuff and inspiration for him, where he picked up some magical stuff. He picked up like the Cloak of Levitation from Loki, who had it. And then he finds the Sanctum and takes a bunch of other stuff from there and becomes a magical threat that Hellstorm has to deal with. Now, the reason he was able to take stuff from the Sanctum is that the resurrected Doctor Strange came back but was like amnesiac, didn't have all his memories, and started wandering around. So, after Doyle beats the Hood, he's like, okay, it's weird that there's this, mansion, secret underground mansion. It's going to be underground because it's got to be like under New York City, older stuff. There's this weird underground mansion full of magical artifacts. There's no one here to guard it. That's weird. We got to find the guy who guards this. As Doyle starts to do that, Dormammu gets annoyed that Doyle hasn't come back yet, but he still can't go to Earth. So Dormammu sends Doyle's Aunt Clea to go and get his son back. Clea goes to Earth, is like, okay, fine, I can see you're set on this. We're going to go find your mysterious wizard man, but then I'm taking your ass home. They set off on the second arc of the Hellstorm series, in which they are basically chasing Strange around the world to these different sanctums. Strange knows that somebody killed him. He knows that somebody sabotaged or betrayed the operation. He doesn't know who. He's trying to find out. So he goes around to all these sanctums with all these other dead guardians to try to figure it out. Eventually, Doyle and Clea catch up with him. Clea realizes, oh my god, this is my ex-boyfriend from 1,000 years ago who disappeared. That convinces Clea to stay. So we keep Clea and Strange as a couple. We keep them having history. And then the big aftermath, the big thing of this arc is that the plan to kill all the sorcerers gets revealed to not have been sabotaged. It was always the plan. Doom's whole thing was he was going to kill them all to keep the spell. That gets revealed to the audience. That is the first we see of Doom in this universe, and I believe that is where we left off for now. What do we... I think you're right. I did say Aunt Clea a couple times. I meant cousin, but older enough cousin, whatever. But yes, it still works as just a misspeak. So, what do we think about this? I think this is really cool. I think this is great what we've done so far. I'm absolutely loving this. This is awesome. This is some fantastic stuff. Yeah, Auntie Clea in quotes, because older, that kind of thing. It's neat. I wish we stuck on topic a bit more, but I love what we got. Yeah, I kind of got into this magic vibe, and I was like, it's cool. This is a series. That's a great segue to me talking about stream announcements. So, let me throw to my big camera here. So, first off, thank you all for coming. That is going to be the end of tonight's stream. I got some announcements and stuff, some of which are not super new, but cool regardless. So, let me talk about those really fast. First off, this is a series. The first episode is up on YouTube. This episode will be up on YouTube within a couple of days. Next episode will be next Monday. And, cool news for that, Nikhil is coming on. Nikhil was briefly on for the first episode. He was not on today because he had work. But, Nikhil is just going to be my other sort of creative partner in this project. So next week, we're probably going to start talking about mutants in this world, because that's Nikhil's area. And he is going to be on just, regularly on this series from here on out. So that's going to be fun. He is also starting to stream on his own, I believe, next week. So go search Nikhil Clayton on Twitch, or Amy can shout him out or something. Go follow him, because he's going to be doing some cool stuff. I'm super excited with how this is going. This is a very fun series for me. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I think that's probably clear from how much, I think my enjoyment of it is pretty clear to watch if you're looking at my camera. But I do other things as well. On Wednesdays, I have been doing this power scaling bit, kind of sarcastic, not very serious versus battles type thing. I think I'm taking this... That was loud. I think I'm taking this Wednesday off because I got a thing I want to do. But usually on Wednesdays, I am going to be doing things like that. There are also episodes of that on YouTube if you want to see exactly how that works. Only one right now. The second episode will go up tomorrow. So last week's episode of power scaling stuff will go up tomorrow. And then I'm taking this Wednesday off. This upcoming Friday, though... Actually, backtracking to Wednesday. I am taking off on Wednesday, but there's another thing that you should be doing this upcoming Wednesday. If you're sad that I'm not streaming, watch Outlaws of the Seven. If you did not see the first episode of Outlaws of the Seven, that is the new D and Dorks campaign DM'd by Panda Red. It will be going up on YouTube, Spotify, podcasting platforms for everyone for free this upcoming Wednesday. You should all go watch it. It's super cool. We have new episodes of that every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time, this Friday included. So watch that on Wednesday and then show up to the live on Friday. Perfect. As for announcements for that, I guess I should say we have lots of other content on the D and Dorks YouTube channel. A link will be put into the chat for that in a second. Amy, if you could drop that there. There's plenty of other stuff on the D and Dorks channel. If you want to go watch it, it's all good stuff. You should watch it. It's like a year-long campaign. There's also a little mini-series we did in there. Very, very fun things. Notably, though, Outlaws of the Seven is its own distinct thing. Don't get intimidated by how much is on the YouTube. Outlaws of the Seven is a separate series. It is not in the same world. It is not narratively connected to what we've done in the past. It is an excellent jumping-on point if you would like to watch us play. One other little note, if you go to that D and Dorks link, there is a merch store. We do have a discount code. I think it's like 10% off. It should be on the store. It's Outlaws in all caps. That is up till this Saturday. Since we have new merch for Outlaws, we just did like a discount thing to celebrate the new show. So if you want to get Outlaws merch, it's a little bit cheaper if you get it now. That, I believe, is the only announcement that I have for that. I guess I can go ahead and drop this. Outlaws is an 8-episode limited series. That episode length, or that length, the number of episodes, I guess, is locked down. We do have a thing set up for October. It is going to be a 3-episode miniseries starting on October 13th. It is going to be a charity benefit thing. More details on that to come, but we do have more stuff set up for Outlaws of the Seven, so get ready for that. Otherwise, I also will be streaming this upcoming Saturday. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing. There's a chance it's going to be another like Destiny Creator Jackbox thing, which I've done in the past. That might fall through because we might not have enough people. I don't know. But this is going to be kind of a random stream. I'll figure something out. I have a couple ideas. Normally, my streams are going to be the other like more well-produced show on my channel. It's a game show I do called Cannon Clash. There are 7 episodes of that up on my personal YouTube, the entire first season, if you would like to watch that. That is going to be coming back, I believe, first week of September. I am gone on the 26th. I am at a convention, so I will not be streaming on the 26th. I didn't want to start Cannon Clash and then like immediately have to take a week off, so I just pushed that back. That's going to be starting back in September. I believe that is all the announcements I have. I posted TikToks today. Go watch those. I'm about to go record more TikToks, so get ready for those tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the stream. I hope you enjoyed. I thought we got some really cool stuff done, and I'm excited for next episode. So I will see you for future streams. Have a good rest of your night.